Chapter 314, Departure, 3, Oh, don't keep me in suspense this time. Leng Ruoxue warned. Her hands danced in the air, making hand seals, and unlocked another seal of the Heaven and Earth bracelet. After another seal of the Heaven and Earth bracelet was unlocked, the spiritual energy in the space became denser, and the area expanded nearly twice in size. Moreover, 3 new pieces of land appeared. I have new land. Qing Ju shouted happily. Big bro Qing Ju, this is great. We can plant more things now. The little black dog jumped up and down happily. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Leng Ruoxue's forehead as she grumbled in her heart, these 2 farming maniacs are actually more enthusiastic about seeing land than seeing me. Big sister, my new ability this time is the ability to transform into your weapon. Qing Ju took the initiative to speak before Leng Ruoxue could ask and immediately disappeared after speaking. Transform into my weapon. This isn't bad, Leng Ruoxue murmured to herself. Ha, Shuer, you're finally out. Leng Qingtian and the others, who felt the change in space, all came to the purple bamboo house. Grandpa, when did you come out of seclusion? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Old Lin and I have been out for almost a month. Ruhan and the others were a little later, Leng Qingtian explained with a smile. Grandpa, should we advance now? Leng Ruoxue asked. Shuer, wait, we don't need to rush our advancement. Ah. The Dragon Emperor wants to see you. He's staying in the general's mansion now. Leng Qingtian said with a troubled expression. The Dragon Emperor? Long Hao. Why does he want to see me? Leng Ruoxue's beautiful eyes were full of question marks. I don't know. Long Hao refused to tell us. He insists on seeing you, Leng Qingtian said helplessly. These days, these old men had been asking around about the purpose of these dragons' visit. But these dragons' mouths were actually more tightly shut than a clam's shell. They couldn't pry them open at all. Then I'll go see him. Leng Ruoxue sighed. After exiting the Heaven and Earth bracelet, Leng Ruoxue and Freak went directly to the Dragon Emperor. Leng Ruoxue found Long Hao lying in a chair and basking in the sun in the garden and asked directly, Dragon Emperor, why are you looking for me? Miss Leng, our dragon clan wants to recognize you as our master, Long Hao said with a smile. That's it? Leng Ruoxue was stunned. If that was all, why did the dragon clan have to be so mysterious? Yes. Long Hao nodded. Alas. It also feels pretty good to be in human form. After coming to the human world, the divine beasts of the dragon clan had transformed into human form to live these few days. Otherwise, this small general's mansion really wouldn't be able to accommodate them. Then why didn't you say anything when my grandfather asked? Leng Ruoxue really couldn't understand what these dragons were thinking. We were afraid that you would refuse, so we wanted to talk to you face to face, Long Hao said shyly. Ah. You're right. I have enough beasts now, so I don't intend to take in any for now, Leng Ruoxue said honestly. As for whether she would take them in the future, she didn't know either. Can't you make an exception once? On the account that we had a deal before? Long Hao said weakly. He also knew that they were in the wrong in the previous deal, but he had to worm his way into getting close to her. Our dragon clan is very strong. We will definitely be your greatest help in the future, Long Hao added. Long Hao, although I don't intend to take in any beasts for the time being, my relatives and subordinates can take you in. So your clan members can acknowledge them as their masters if they're willing, Leng Ruoxue reminded kindly. In fact, she knew very well why the dragon clan wanted to recognize her as their master, so letting them recognize her relatives and subordinates as their masters was also considered doing what they needed. I need to discuss this with the elders, Long Hao said awkwardly. No problem. Discuss slowly. But I want to remind you that we're going to leave the Ling Feng continent soon. With that, Leng Ruoxue pulled Freak away. Shuer, will the dragon clan agree? Freak asked curiously. Yes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come all the way here, Leng Ruoxue said understandingly. There were probably no dragons remaining on Dragon Island now. Where are we going? The two of them had already walked out of the general's mansion while they spoke. I'm going to advance, Leng Ruoxue said with a smile. She walked to a spacious open space and summoned Quill. Quill, I want to go somewhere to advance, Leng Ruoxue said directly to Quill. Yes, master. Quill flapped his wings, jumped into the air, and slowly became a small black dot that disappeared into the sky. Quill brought Leng Ruoxue and Freak to an uninhabited valley. Leng Ruoxue jumped down from Quill's back and released her beasts. Then she sat cross-legged on a boulder and waited for the heaven and earth laws to descend. After a while, the heaven and earth laws arrived as expected. Leng Ruoxue absorbed the spiritual energy bestowed upon her by the heaven and earth laws to her heart's content. After the heaven and earth laws slowly dissipated, a thought flashed through Leng Ruoxue's mind: leave the Ling Feng continent 3 days later. So soon? Leng Ruoxue didn't expect to leave so soon after advancing to spiritual deity. After her advancement, Leng Ruoxue and Freak immediately returned to the general's mansion and told everyone about this. We're leaving in 3 days. If you have anything to settle, do it quickly, Leng Qingtian reminded. After discussing, these old men decided that they would advance in another dimension. I can leave any time. Me too. Fengde, go to the Prosperity Pavilion and tell Big Brother Wang and the others that it will belong to them from now on, Leng Ruoxue suddenly said to Fengde. After the opening of the Prosperity Pavilion, she hadn't really cared much about it. Fortunately, Su Xing wasn't aware of the relationship between her and the Prosperity Pavilion, so it was able to escape disaster. Yes, Mississippi. Do you want me to visit the Hurricane Mercenary Group and ask them to take care of it? Fengde suggested. Chapter 315, Departure, 4, Go ahead. Take this to Big Brother Ju while you're there. Leng Ruoxue took out 2 accumulation elixirs and handed them to Fengde. Okay, Fengde replied and left the general's mansion. After arranging everything and informing the dragons, Leng Ruoxue and the others waited quietly for the moment of departure. 3 days later. Grandpa, Leng Ruoxue called softly while looking at Leng Qingtian standing in the garden. Only her grandfather was still outside. Shuer, let me take one last look, Leng Qingtian said nostalgically. After leaving today, he probably wouldn't have the chance to return. Okay, Leng Ruoxue replied. Shuer, send me into the space, Leng Qingtian said after a long while. Leng Ruoxue nodded and sent Leng Qingtian into the bracelet, leaving her alone in the garden. A moment later, a golden beam of light descended from the sky and enveloped Leng Ruoxue. After a few minutes, the beam of light disappeared, and the garden was empty. When the warm golden light disappeared, Leng Ruoxue slowly opened her beautiful eyes and observed her surroundings. Ah! This place is very barren. There was no sign of human habitation, and all she could see were barren land, overgrown weeds, and endless mountain ranges. Leng Ruoxue was dumbfounded. This place is the upper realm? She was very doubtful. Did the golden light bring me to the wrong place? Did it mess with me? Otherwise, why would it leave me here in this place without a single trace of humans? I can't even find anyone to ask for directions. With a thought, Leng Ruoxue moved Freak, her grandfather, and the others out of the bracelet. Shuer, are we here already? Leng Qingtian was a little confused when he emerged, especially when he saw the desolate wilderness. Where is this place? Why is it so? Old man was stunned and speechless. Shuer, don't be scared. I will protect you, Freak said with incomparable affection as he hugged Leng Ruoxue's slender waist, his eyes full of allure. Which eye of yours saw that I was afraid? I'm the one protecting you if there's any protection needed. Ah, this place is so remote. If you meet a bad person who takes a liking to your beauty, you will be in danger, Leng Ruoxue teased Freak. Yes, that's right. You have to protect me, Freak said cooperatively. Okay, don't worry. Old man, what do you know about this world? Leng Ruoxua turned to ask Old Man, little girl, to be honest, I don't know much about this world. Moreover, I've already told you everything I know. Oh right, I also know that your Leng family's seniors have a very high status in this world, Old Man explained simply. Ruoxua, let's leave this place. There probably won't be anyone in these barren mountains, Lin Liang suggested. He didn't expect the beam of light to leave Leng Ruoxua in such a desolate place. They were unfamiliar with the place and people here, so they were unsure of what to do. Grandpa, do you want to advance first? Leng Ruoxua asked after some thought. This was a good place to advance, where they wouldn't be disturbed. Leng Qingtian and the others looked at each other and nodded. Okay. Lass. I don't want to advance with you. I want to break through by myself, old Zhao said stubbornly. Ruoxua, we're not in a hurry either, Feng Jing and the Feng family's first elders said at the same time. Okay. Grandpa, Old Man, Grandpa Lin, advance first. Leng Ruoxua nodded and released the dragons who were going to contract with the three of them. After hearing her proposal, the dragon clan had been hesitant, but they immediately agreed after knowing that Leng Ruoxua and the others were about to leave the Ling Feng continent. But the dragon clan had a condition. They requested to choose their masters themselves, so Leng Ruoxua sent them all into the bracelet to let the dragons cultivate feelings with her grandfather and the others. After a short period of interaction, most dragons had already found their masters, and the first elder of the dragon clan had decided to contract with her grandfather. Long Hao chose her elder brother. Okay. The three old men let out their beasts, contracted with the dragons, and began to break through with all their might. About 2 hours later, 3 streams of heaven and earth laws descended one by one. After a while, the heaven and earth laws slowly dissipated, and the three of them officially advanced to spiritual deity. The three old men's beasts, especially the dragons, advanced separately after receiving the benefits of their master's advancement. Long Sheng, what level are you now? Leng Ruoxua looked curiously at the first elder of the dragon clan, who had transformed into his original form. Little master, I am a level 6 divine beast now, Long Sheng said respectfully. Level 6 divine beast? Leng Ruoxua was confused. Isn't it transcendent divine beast above divine beast? Why is there still level 6 divine beast? Little master, it's like this. The divine beasts on the Ling Feng continent can actually only be considered level 1 divine beasts. They are limited by the laws of the Ling Feng continent, so they are unable to advance after advancing to divine beast. However, the level of this dimension is higher than that of the Ling Feng continent, so our strength can continue to increase in this dimension. I am now a level 6 divine beast, and the divine beast stage is divided into 9 levels. Above divine beast is transcendent divine beast, which is also divided into 9 levels, Long Sheng explained. This information was obtained from his inherited memory just now. Oh. Leng Ruoxua nodded. She didn't expect the division of divine beasts to be so detailed. Feng Zhan, Charm, can you advance? Leng Ruoxua sent a voice transmission to her beasts. Master, I can, Feng Zhan was first to reply. He had been a divine beast for a long time and had already accumulated enough spiritual power in his body. Advancing a few levels would definitely not be a problem. Master, me too, Charm replied. Master, I can also advance, White Dawn echoed. Master, Leng Ruoxua didn't expect that most of her beasts would be able to advance. This was definitely good news for her. Chapter 316, Entering Boundless Heaven, 1, with a thought, Leng Ruoxua released all the beasts that could advance. After they emerged, they immediately transformed into their true forms and found spots to prepare for advancement. After a while, streams of heaven and earth laws descended non-stop in the barren mountain range, creating a dazzling sight. Only after a few hours did the aftershocks of the advancement gradually disperse. The beasts remained on the spot with their eyes closed to regulate their breathing. The advancement of the beasts naturally brought incomparably tremendous benefits to Leng Ruoxue. Now, the spiritual power in her body was already showing signs of liquefying. Ruoxue. The advancement of your beasts is really too spectacular, Lin Liang said in amazement. Although it wasn't the first time he had seen such a scene, he felt incomparably shocked every time he saw it. Ha, Grandpa Lin, it will also be like this when you contract more beasts, Leng Ruoxue said happily. Forget it. I don't have abnormal mental strength like you, Lin Liang said with slight jealousy. Even though the higher the level, the stronger the strength, and the more beasts people could contract, no one could contract beasts infinitely like Leng Ruoxue because their mental strength was limited. If they exceeded the limit of their mental strength, not only would they be unable to contract with any beasts, they would also suffer a backlash and become fools. Grandpa Lin, then quickly increase your strength. If you are stronger, there will naturally be many beasts you can contract, Leng Ruoxue comforted. Yes, strength is really too important. Lin Liang sighed. Beloved master, guess what level your darling is now? Darling, who had already consolidated his cultivation, jumped into Leng Ruoxue's arms in his transformed form and said coquettishly. Boo-hoo. Beloved master, you haven't hugged me for so long. I miss being hugged so much. Leng Ruoxue raised the small and cute purple fox in her arms and said very seriously, Level 2 Divine Beast? No, beloved master, you look down on darling too much. Boo-hoo, darling complained aggrievedly with tears welling up in his beautiful silver eyes. Ah. Don't cry. I'm just joking with you. I know that you're now a level 3 divine beast. Leng Ruoxue coaxed, her forehead full of black lines. She might not be able to see the levels of other divine beasts now, but she was still clear about the strength of her beasts. But what surprised her was that White Dawn had actually advanced to Transcendent Divine Beast. Okay. Darling nodded in satisfaction and rubbed against Leng Ruoxue's beautiful face. Master. Charm also transformed, jumped onto Leng Ruoxue's shoulder, and lay down after consolidating his cultivation. Charm, not bad. Leng Ruoxue praised while caressing Charm's snow-white fur gently. Charm was already a level 5 divine beast. Master, there's still me. A small fiery red bird flew to Leng Ruoxue's other shoulder. Master, I'm the strongest now apart from that cat, Feng Zhan said proudly. You damn bird. How dare you call me a cat? I'll pluck all your fur out and turn you into a bald bird. White Dawn roared furiously. Master, I was threatened by the feline. Feng Zhan's little wings pointed at the white tiger as he glared at him in complaint. Don't call me a feline. White Dawn hollered. Ah. Stop arguing, Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas. Those old men bicker all day, and my beasts quarrel often as well. She was really helpless. Master, I request to duel with this damn bird. White Dawn said through gritted teeth. Humph. Master doesn't allow her beasts to fight, but I can always take the proper route. I refuse. You're stronger than me. This is very unfair to me, Feng Zhan said indifferently. Stop it, both of you, Leng Ruoxue warned. Yes. The two aggressive beasts immediately became well-behaved. Grandpa, let's leave this place. Leng Ruoxue turned to her grandfather. Okay, let's go. Leng Qingtian nodded. The most important thing now was to find a place with people and ask about the situation here. Leng Ruoxue sent most of the beasts into the bracelet, leaving Charm, Feng Zhan, and Quill out. Which way should we go? Leng Ruoxue asked with a headache as she looked at the winding mountain roads. Although their current location was uninhabited, there were too many forked roads in the mountains that they were unable to figure out. Let's go south. Leng Qingtian said as he looked at the terrain. Okay, Quill, bring us south. Leng Ruoxue ordered. Yes, master. Come up. Quill flew into the air and enlarged his body. After Leng Ruoxue and the others sat on Quill's back, Quill flew them toward the south. After flying for a day, they didn't find a single person. Moreover, they still didn't leave the mountain range. Why is this mountain range so big? Old Zao grumbled. However, no one paid any attention to him. Master, there are sounds of fighting not far ahead, Quill suddenly said. Let's go take a look, Len Ruoxue said without hesitation. It really wasn't easy. They finally found some people. Carrying Len Ruoxue and the others, Quill flew toward the location of the fight. After arriving at the spot, everyone jumped off Quill's back and watched the battle not far away. On one side of the fight was an ugly spirit beast with a body like a small mountain. On the other side were a middle-aged man and a youth of 15 or 16 years old. Both of them were spiritualists. The middle-aged man was a spiritual supremacy while the youth was a spiritual sovereign. As for the ugly beast, Len Ruoxue carefully searched for information about it in her mind. It was an earth alligator. Moreover, it was a level 1 divine beast. Earth alligators were beasts that excelled at defense. Their greatest characteristic was their thick skin, which was also a good material to refine armor. The two humans fighting it were gradually showing signs of defeat. After all, they were weaker than this earth alligator. Besides, its defense was extremely abnormal, so it would be only a matter of time before they were defeated. Chapter 317, Entering Boundless Heaven, 2, Leave this place quickly. It's dangerous. The middle-aged man had already discovered Len Ruoxue and the others and hurriedly shouted anxiously. Ha, so many delicacies have come knocking on my door. Don't even think about leaving today. The earth alligator laughed arrogantly, its already ugly head looking even uglier. What is this? It's so ugly. Len Ruoxue said disdainfully, her beautiful eyes full of provocation. You're the ugly one, the earth alligator roared furiously. Freak, it said I'm ugly. Len Ruoxue complained coquettishly. It's okay, Schwer. I don't mind, Freak teased with a light smile on his lips. Len Ruoxue nodded with satisfaction and deliberately said loudly, okay, what should we do with this big guy? Although this thing is ugly, I heard that its meat is quite delicious. Freak's shiny black eyes sized up the earth alligator. Damn humans, I won't let you go. You're dead, the earth alligator roared. It was so angry. These two damn ugly monsters actually discussed how to deal with it in front of it and said that they wanted to eat its meat. Humph. It would let these two humans know who would be eating whom. With a frightened face, Len Ruoxue snuggled up to Freak. Freak, we're being threatened. I'm so scared. Don't be afraid. I will protect you, Freak said domineeringly. Seeing Len Ruoxue and the others ignoring him, the middle-aged man shouted again, hurry up and run. Leave this place. None of you can run away. I'll deal with them after I kill you, the earth alligator said confidently to the middle-aged man. It quickly raised its giant tail, bringing forth gusts of wind that hit the middle-aged man like knives. This ugly thing is quite powerful, Len Ruoxue said coldly. Quill, go teach it a lesson, Len Ruoxue ordered. If she didn't do anything, the people she finally found with great difficulty would die. Yes, master. Quill jumped into the air and flew above the earth alligator. His huge eagle claws directly pressed on the earth alligator's head. With a crack, his sharp claws instantly sliced through its head. The mountain-like earth alligator didn't have the slightest ability to resist and died. Ah! The middle-aged man and the youth looked at the scene in front of them in astonishment, dumbfounded. This black eagle is really too fierce and terrifying, they were speechless for a long time. When they returned to their senses, Quill had already skinned and cleaned up the mountain-like earth alligator. Thank you for saving us. The middle-aged man led the youth to Len Ruoxue and the others and bowed respectfully in gratitude. It's nothing. Don't take it to heart, Len Ruoxue said lightly. This earth alligator, Len Ruoxue looked at the earth alligator again but was interrupted by the middle-aged man before she could say anything. Of course this earth alligator belongs to you, the middle-aged man said tactfully. Although these people were spiritual sovereigns on the surface, they had to be from a big family to have such a powerful ego. Moreover, these people were his saviors. Even if they were not, he would definitely not be able to afford to provoke them. He knew his limits. I'll take the skin and spirit crystal of the earth alligator. Well, share half the meat, Len Ruoxue said generously. Although she had saved them, she also needed their help, so she wouldn't be stingy when it was time to be generous. Ah! Thank you, Mississippi. The middle-aged man was stunned, but he quickly reacted and didn't decline, his face full of gratitude. Miss, I might be weak, but please feel free to tell me if there's anything you need my help with, the middle-aged man continued. He really didn't expect that not only did he keep his life, but he could also obtain half of the earth alligator's meat. Although half of the earth alligator meat wasn't much compared to the value of the entire earth alligator, it was a considerable windfall for him, enough for his family to eat for half a year. I do have something to ask you, Len Ruoxue said indifferently. Please ask away, miss, the middle-aged man said very respectfully. I want to know where we are and what's the situation here, Len Ruoxue asked bluntly. Miss isn't from the boundless heaven continent, right? The middle-aged man said in realization. No. Len Ruoxue didn't intend to hide it. Miss, our continent is called the Boundless Heaven Continent. We are currently in the northernmost region of the Prayer Mountain Range in the Boundless Heaven Continent. There is little rain all year round here, and the weather is hot. Therefore, this can be considered the poorest and most barren region of the Boundless Heaven Continent. Moreover, the population here is very small, the middle-aged man explained simply. Where is the nearest town? Len Ruoxue asked. Miss, to be honest, there are mountains everywhere here, and it will take at least 10 days to reach the nearest town. Miss, my family lives in the village at the foot of the mountain. If you don't mind, please come to my house to rest first. I'll tell you in detail, the middle-aged man suggested. Okay, take us to your house. Len Ruoxue nodded in agreement after some thought. Seeing Len Ruoxue and the others sitting on the black eagle's back, the middle-aged man hesitated. Miss, come up and lead the way for Quill, Len Ruoxue said. Yes. The middle-aged man stored half of the earth alligator meat in his ring and then carefully sat on Quill's back with his son. Don't be nervous. Quill won't throw you down. Len Ruoxue saw the father and son's scared expressions and comforted them. Okay. The middle-aged man nodded. Alas, there was no way he couldn't be nervous. The blow that this black eagle used to kill the earth alligator had pierced too deeply into his heart. He was afraid just thinking about it. Chapter 3:18, Entering Boundless Heaven, 3. Under the middle-aged man's guidance, Quill quickly arrived at the small village at the foot of the mountain. It was a small village with only a dozen households. Len Ruoxue and the others' arrival attracted almost everyone in the village. Dozens of eyes were looking at them curiously, but no one dared to approach. Stop surrounding us. They are my esteemed guests. Don't scare them, the middle-aged man said. After hearing what the middle-aged man said, the surrounding villagers immediately left. Hee, please don't mind. We rarely have outsiders here, the middle-aged man said apologetically. It's all right, Len Ruoxue said nonchalantly with a light smile. Although it didn't feel good to be watched as a rare animal, she could see that the villagers were very simple, so she didn't care much. In addition, she found that those villagers were actually spiritualists. What was going on? Her heart was full of question marks. The middle-aged man led Len Ruoxue and the others to a small yard and said slightly embarrassedly, Everyone, this is my home. I hope you don't mind. It doesn't matter. We often camp in the wilderness, Len Ruoxue said indifferently while looking at the middle-aged man's home. This house was very simple. There was only a stone table and a few stone benches in the yard and not a single piece of decent furniture in the house. Please have a seat here. The middle-aged man pointed at the stone benches. Okay. Leng Ruoxue and the others followed the host's arrangements and found a place to sit in the yard. The middle-aged man turned to his son. Minger, quickly go make some food for our esteemed guests. There's no need to trouble yourselves. Tell us in detail about the situation here. Leng Ruoxue said. Okay. The middle-aged man sat down beside them and then introduced the basic situation of the boundless heaven continent to them. After about 2 hours, Leng Ruoxue and the others finally had a basic understanding of this continent. This boundless heaven continent was vast, approximately twice the size of the Ling Feng continent. There were no countries on the continent, it was all cities. But the 3 largest cities on the continent had always been controlled by the 3 great families for many years. The 3 great families were mainly the Leng family, the Lan family, and the Sun family. These 3 families were fully deserving of being the hegemons on the boundless heaven continent. Their power and status were so great that others could only look up to them. Moreover, the people on this continent were born with the ability to cultivate spiritual power and become spiritualists. However, the spiritualists in this world could only be considered ordinary people. If they wanted to stand out and be respected on the continent, they had to become mystics. Mystics were the most honorable profession on the continent. But the chance of becoming a mystic was only 1 in 10,000. Miss Leng, I have a map of the boundless heaven continent here for you. After the middle-aged man finished explaining, he went to his room to take a slightly yellowed map and handed it to Leng Ruoxue. Thank you. Leng Ruoxue took the map and stored it directly in her ring. This map was currently what she needed the most. Big Brother Wu, how can I become a mystic? Leng Ruoxue asked. Hee, Miss Leng, if you want to become a mystic, you have to go to the Mystic Association. There will be specialists there to guide you. But converting your spiritual power into mystic power isn't easy, the middle-aged man, Wu Kai, reminded. Is there a mystic association in the nearest town? Leng Ruoxue continued asking. Yes, but the mystic association there is very small. If you want to convert your spiritual power, I suggest you go to a larger branch. That way, the success rate will be higher, Wu Kai reminded. It's okay. We're just going to take a look. Big Brother Wu, we won't disturb you anymore. Goodbye. Leng Ruoxue prepared to leave after getting what she wanted to know. Okay. May we see each other again, Wu Kai said politely. Okay. Leng Ruoxue and the others nodded, sat on Quill's back, and flew toward the nearest town. Quill was very fast. Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at their destination, Windless City, in just 3 days. Windless City wasn't big, but it was connected to the 3 main cities. It belonged to the Sun family of the 3 great families, and the city lord of Windless City was from one of the affiliated families of the Sun family. Outside the city gate, Leng Ruoxue and the others jumped off Quill's back and were about to enter the city on foot when the soldiers guarding the city gate stopped them. Please pay the entrance fee. 50 amethyst coins per person, one of the soldiers said coldly. Ah! Leng Ruoxue and the others were stunned. It was really too despicable to charge 50 amethyst coins for the entrance fee of such a small city. One had to know that the common currencies of the boundless heaven continent were amethyst coins and purple gold coins. The exchange rate between amethyst coins and purple gold coins was 101. There were 8 of them in total, and if each person had to pay 50 amethyst coins, then they would need 400 amethyst coins, equivalent to 4 purple gold coins. Leng Ruoxue had always thought that she wasn't in need of money. But she would probably become poor soon with this way of spending money. Here. Leng Ruoxue resigned herself to paying. She took out 400 amethyst coins and handed them to the soldiers guarding the gate. Alas! We're new here. Boo-hoo. After entering the city, Leng Ruoxue and the others were surprised to find that the city was quite bustling despite being small. The streets were rather busy and crowded as people came and went. Lass, when we're stronger in the future, we can build a city and be the city lord to play. Well, charge everyone 100 amethyst coins for entering the city, old Zhao said emotionally. This money was really too easy to earn. Do you think it's so easy to be a city lord? Old man said disdainfully. I didn't say I wanted to be the city lord. I just want to collect money, old Zao said nonchalantly. Then you can just be a city guard. What city lord? Old man argued. You, stop arguing. We're about to reach the Mystic Association. Don't let others laugh at you, Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Chapter 319, Entering Boundless Heaven, 4, okay. The two old men obediently shut their mouths and stopped talking. According to the location marked on the map, Len Ruoxue and the others found the Mystic Association smoothly. They opened the door and walked in. Len Ruoxue walked directly to the front desk and said to the receptionist inside, I want to convert spiritual power. The receptionist, who was fiddling with her nails, looked up and asked arrogantly, Are all of you going to convert your spiritual power? No, only the 5 of us want to convert, Len Ruoxue said lightly. Len Ruoxue and the others didn't hide their strength because the minimum requirement for spiritual power conversion was to be a spiritual deity. 100 purple gold coins per person, the receptionist said and then lowered her head to repair her nails. What? 100 purple gold coins? Are you robbing us? Old Zao couldn't help exclaiming. What? You don't have money. How dare you come for spiritual power conversion without money? Not just anyone can be a mystic, the receptionist said with a face full of mockery and disdain. This is 500 purple gold coins. Len Ruoxue took out 500 purple gold coins and threw them in front of the receptionist. Fortunately, she had the foresight to go to the bank to exchange amethyst coins for purple gold coins before coming to the Mystic Association. Otherwise, they would be looked down upon by this snobbish woman. The receptionist was stunned. She didn't expect this unbelievably beautiful girl could really afford 500 purple gold coins. This wasn't a small sum. What? Is there not enough money? Len Ruoxue said lightly while looking at the stunned receptionist. Ah. It's enough, the receptionist said awkwardly after returning to her senses. Len Ruoxue glanced at the receptionist and asked coldly, Then can we convert our spiritual power now? Okay, fill out this form. The receptionist took out a few forms from a drawer and handed them to Len Ruoxue. Grandpa, here you go. Len Ruoxue distributed the forms to Len Qingtian and the others. After filling in the forms, Len Ruoxue and the others returned them to the receptionist. Come with me, the receptionist said uncomfortably and led Len Ruoxue and the others to the second floor. After they arrived on the second floor, the receptionist knocked on the door of one of the rooms. President, some people wants to convert spiritual power, the receptionist said respectfully through the door. Invite them in. A man's voice sounded from behind the door. Please head in, the receptionist said to Len Ruoxue and the others before turning to leave. Len Ruoxue and the others pushed the door open and walked straight in. In the room, a man was sitting in a chair and looking at them with a smile on his lips. The man was about 20 years old. He was handsome, refined, noble, and very friendly. Welcome, everyone. It's been a long time since so many people came to our branch to convert spiritual power, the man said with a friendly smile. How can ordinary people afford it when it costs so much money? Of course there would be no one. Old Zao seemed to be muttering to himself, but his voice was so loud that everyone could hear him. Our prices are all set by the Mystic Association. If you really have any difficulties, you can pay in installments after the conversion is successful, the young man explained very nicely. There's such a thing. What if the conversion fails? Old Zao asked curiously. If the conversion fails, and you really can't afford to pay, you can settle this sum of money as long as you work for our Mystic Association for 2 years, the young man said. Oh. Then why did your receptionist say that we can't convert if we don't have money? She also said that not just anyone can become a mystic, old Zao asked curiously, his face full of the words, humbly asking for advice and shamelessly asking. Ah. I think she didn't explain it clearly, the young man said awkwardly. But he had already decided the fate of the receptionist in his mind. I am Lan Ming, the president of Windless City's Mystic Association. I will be the one to guide you in the spiritual power conversion. Lan Ming changed the topic. Your Excellency Lan Ming, please explain the method of converting spiritual power and the things to take note of. Ling Qingtian said. Okay. Spiritual power conversion is an important turning point for becoming a mystic. After successful conversion, you will become a respected mystic. The ranks of mystics are divided into 6 levels: mystic, elementary mystic, great mystic, mystic monarch, mystic sovereign, and mystic supremacy. The color of the mystic power of mystics is light yellow, yellow for elementary mystics, light green for great mystics, green for mystic monarchs, light purple for mystic sovereigns, and purple for mystic supremacies. The mystic power attributes are the same as the spiritual power attributes of spiritualists. In addition, the conversion of spiritual power to mystic power will be very painful, so you have to persevere and not give up halfway. Otherwise, the conversion will fail. I have been at the Mystic Association for many years and have seen many people who failed because they couldn't make it through the last hurdle. I really hope that each of you can succeed, so please remember my words, Lan Ming said very sincerely. Thank you. We will remember, Leng Ruoxue said. This is the incantation for spiritual power conversion. Please remember it. Lan Ming handed each of them a card that resembled a magnetic card. Leng Ruoxue and the others took the cards and memorized the incantation on it. After your conversion succeeds, these cards will also become proof of your identity as mystics in the future, so please take good care of them, Lan Ming reminded. Okay. Leng Ruoxue and the others nodded. Now, I'll bring you to the conversion room. Lan Ming stood up. Leng Ruoxue and the others followed Lan Ming to a large sealed room. This room was very spacious, and it was divided into several small rooms. Choose a room each and then enter for your conversion. Lan Ming said. Leng Ruoxue and the others nodded, and then each entered a small room. After entering the small room, Leng Ruoxue was surprised to find that the spiritual energy in the room was very dense. The walls of the room were embedded with crystals for spiritual energy gathering. The room was not big, with only a small table and a sitting mat. Chapter 320, The 4 Evils of Windless City. 1. Leng Ruoxue sat cross-legged on the sitting mat, chanted the incantation in her head, and began to convert the spiritual power in her body. How long does it take to convert? Half an hour later, old Zao, who was waiting in the big room, couldn't help asking. It varies from person to person. The longer the conversion time, the higher the aptitude, and the greater the future achievements, Lan Ming explained very patiently. How long is the fastest time? Old Zao asked. At least an hour, Lan Ming answered. Oh. Old Zao stopped talking and closed his eyes to pretend to be asleep. But 3 hours later, none of the 5 people who had entered came out. Say, President, it's been 3 hours. Why aren't they out yet? Old Zao asked worriedly. This proves that their aptitudes are very good, Lan Ming said calmly. Taking longer than 3 hours for the conversion was enough to prove that their aptitudes were in the upper middle range. If they could succeed, such talents would basically be specially nurtured by their family. Another 3 hours later, a stream of heaven and earth laws finally descended. This is the damn old man's room, old Zao murmured. Seems like he succeeded, Lan Ming said in surprise. It actually took 6 hours, and it was a success. It was really incredible. Basically, those who succeeded in their conversion after more than 5 hours had top-notch aptitudes. It's just blind luck, old Zao said disdainfully. Ah. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Lan Ming's forehead. Was there such blind luck? In that case, probably everyone would want to be blind. After a while, old man emerged from the small room, feeling refreshed. Not bad. Congratulations on becoming a mystic, Lan Ming said to Old Man. Thank you, President Lan, Old Man replied politely. You can now drip your blood on your card for it to recognize you as its master. Your identity will then be recorded on it. At the same time, you will also become a member of our Mystic Association, Lan Ming explained. What benefits are there for joining the Mystic Association? Old Man asked very pragmatically after binding the card with his blood. The businesses of our Mystic Association are spread all over the entire boundless heaven continent. As members of the Mystic Association, we enjoy the first right to purchase and the lowest discount. The higher your strength and status, the larger the discount you'll enjoy, Lan Ming said with a light smile. Even though this old man's question was very realistic, he admired his straightforwardness. We still have to spend money. We don't have money. Old Man said with a bitter face. Ah. Lan Ming was speechless. He had never heard of any mystic lacking money. With your aptitudes, after becoming mystics, your family will definitely do their best to nurture you, so you don't have to worry about money at all, Lan Ming continued to console. We don't belong to any family. Old Man sighed. That's okay. When you become mystics, many families will want to win you over, Lan Ming said helplessly. But he couldn't help wondering if this old man was doing it on purpose. In fact, he was right. Old Man was doing it on purpose. While Old Man was chatting with Lan Ming, another stream of heaven and earth laws descended. Hee, Brat Lin has also become a mystic, Old Man said happily. Before long, another stream of heaven and earth laws descended again, and Ling Qingtian also became a mystic. Lan Ming was a little speechless. Seeing the streams of heaven and earth laws descending one after another, he couldn't help muttering in his head, when did becoming a mystic become so easy? Moreover, what's even more unbelievable is that their aptitudes are getting better and better. Lin Liang and Ling Qingtian walked out of the small room at almost the same time. After they came out, Lan Ming repeated the same words to the two of them. After that, he sat quietly by the side and waited because there were still two people who hadn't come out of the small room. Moreover, he was very curious to know if the last two people could also become mystics. Time slowly passed. Another 4 hours passed, but there was still no movement from Ling Ruoxue and Yi Chen. Gradually, Lan Ming lost his composure. The spiritual power conversion of the top geniuses on the boundless heaven continent only took 8 hours. But 10 hours had passed, and there was nothing from the two people in the small room. A day passed, but Ling Ruoxue and Yi Chen had yet to emerge. Lan Ming was sitting in a chair in the big room and looking at the few old men sleeping soundly not far away. He felt a little speechless. Why aren't they worried at all? Instead, I'm the one guarding here motionlessly. What's going on? Are the two of them not out yet? Old Zhao, who just woke up, asked with some confusion in his eyes. Not yet, Lan Ming replied lightly. Oh, I'll continue sleeping then. Old Zhao lay on the ground and even started snoring. 2 days passed. 3 days passed. On the 4th day, the heaven and earth laws that hadn't appeared for a long time finally descended once again. Seems like Brat Yi has converted successfully as well. Old Man said in realization. In fact, he was already prepared for their success. After all of them had taken the little girl's remolding pills. Moreover, they had also eaten so many spirit fruits. If they failed, what would that make them? They could just become pigs. After a short while, Yi Chen walked out of the small room. Grandpa, isn't Shuer out yet? Yi Chen looked around but didn't see Shuer at all. He felt a little disappointed. Not yet. Don't worry. Ling Qingtian comforted. Alas. I wouldn't have come out so early if I knew that Shuer hadn't come out yet, Yi Chen muttered in his head. When Lan Ming saw Yi Chen walk out of the small room, he didn't say a word because he was utterly shocked. He had always thought that his aptitude was good, but compared to these monsters, he knew that his aptitude was nothing to be proud of. Chapter 321, The Four Evils of Windless City, 2. In the small room. At this moment, Leng Ruoxue had reached the final moment of the spiritual power conversion. Through her divine sense, she could clearly see the silver-white mystic power source in her dantian becoming clearer and more condensed. The mystic power source was a silver-white sphere of light that formed from the conversion of spiritual power. When you converted all your spiritual power to mystic power, your mystic power source would also become more and more condensed. This was also the only place to store mystic power. The greater the mystic power source, the more mystic power stored. The spiritual power in her body was abnormally dense because of the heaven-defying art, so it took her longer to convert all this spiritual power into mystic power. Moreover, converting spiritual power into mystic power would cause some pain, and this pain intensified as time passed. Enduring the intense pain, she finally converted the last bit of spiritual power in her body into mystic power. She released her beasts from the bracelet before the heaven and earth laws descended, and the transformed beasts instantly crowded the entire small room. Then the heaven and earth laws that enabled her to become a mystic descended. After the heaven and earth laws dissipated, Leng Ruoxue quickly sent the beasts back into the bracelet while she continued to stay in the small room to consolidate her cultivation. After becoming a mystic, Leng Ruoxue realized that she needed more heaven and earth spiritual energy. When she was a spiritualist, the ratio of spiritual energy she absorbed to spiritual power was 1:1. But after becoming a mystic, the ratio of absorbed spiritual energy to mystic power was 10:1. In the other words, no matter how much spiritual energy she absorbed when she was a spiritualist, she could transform 100% of it into spiritual power. But after becoming a mystic, she could only transform the same spiritual energy to 10% of mystic power. After consolidating her cultivation, Leng Ruoxue stopped cultivating, stood up, and left the small room. "Shuer, you're finally out." "Boo-hoo," Freak immediately rushed forward and hugged Leng Ruoxue tightly the moment she walked out. "Freak, what's wrong with you?" Leng Ruoxue's face was full of question marks. Isn't his reaction a little too big? "I missed you so much." "Boo-hoo," Freak choked. He hadn't seen Shuer for 5 days. He missed her so much, so much. "I missed you too. Be good. Don't cry." Leng Ruoxue coaxed helplessly. Alas. He's becoming more and more clingy. "You're finally out." Lan Ming walked to Leng Ruoxue. "Was I in there for a long time?" Leng Ruoxue's face was full of doubts. "It's been 5 days." Lan Ming sighed, with the word monster written on his handsome face. "Oh, President Lan, is everything okay now?" Leng Ruoxue said lightly. Your card needs a drop of your blood to recognize you as its master," Lan Ming quickly said. Leng Ruoxue's indifferent reaction was really a little unexpected. "President Lan, does the association provide mystic skills for mystics?" Leng Ruoxue asked. Both spiritualists and mystics had their own specialized skills. After becoming a mystic, spiritual skills were still usable, but they were not as powerful as mystic skills. Moreover, mystic skills were also divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, earth grade, and heavenly. So she guessed that the Mystic Association would at least provide elementary mystic skills. The association can provide elementary and intermediate mystic skills for free. Advanced mystic skills have to be bought with money. Earth grade and heavenly mystic skills can only be bought at auctions, Lan Ming explained. "Oh, then I want one set of elementary, intermediate, and advanced mystic skills of each element," Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Alright. Apart from the elementary and intermediate mystic skills, I'll sell you the advanced mystic ones at a 40% discount, Lan Ming said after being stunned. "Can't it be cheaper?" "We're short on money," old man said pitifully, tears flashing in his slightly turbid eyes. 50% off then, Lan Ming said weakly as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. "Thank you, President Lan." A faint smile appeared on Leng Ruoxue's lips. She looked at old man with admiration in her beautiful eyes. "Okay. You know how to save. Not bad." This is a good sign. Come with me. It'll bring you to get the mystic skills, Lan Ming said. Okay. Leng Ruoxue and the others followed Lan Ming to the library. After entering the library, Lan Ming took out several scrolls made of beast skin and handed them to Leng Ruoxue. All the mystic skills you want are here, Lan Ming said. Thank you, President Lan. Leng Ruoxue opened the beast hide scrolls and casually flipped through them. Miss Leng, you can look for me if you need anything in Windless City, Lan Ming reminded. Okay. Grandpa, let's go. Leng Ruoxue turned to Leng Qingtian and the others. All right. President Lan, goodbye, Leng Qingtian said politely. After leaving the Mystic Association, Leng Ruoxue and the others planned to find an inn to stay at for the time being. But after searching several streets, they didn't find a suitable place. Either they were too expensive, or the environments were too poor. This one. Leng Ruoxue looked at the relatively clean inn in front of her. Everyone nodded and walked in together. Excuse me, do you want to stay at the inn? The waiter welcomed them warmly as soon as they entered the inn. We want a guest room, Leng Ruoxue said. Ah. You're only booking one room with so many people. The waiter's eyes widened in disbelief. Did I hear it right? What? Is that not allowed? Leng Ruoxue asked. No, but there are so many of you. Is one room enough? The waiter couldn't help asking. That's our business, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. That's right. It's our business. Why are you asking so much? Hurry up and arrange a room for us, old Zhao said impatiently. Damn it. The prices here were exorbitant. It wasn't a place for humans to stay at all. Yes. I'll arrange it immediately, the waiter said fearfully and left. 10 minutes later, the waiter appeared in front of them. Everyone, the room has been arranged. Please follow me, the waiter said respectfully. Chapter 322, The Four Evils of Windless City, 3, Leng Ruoxue and the others followed the waiter to the second floor. The waiter pointed to the innermost room on the second floor. Everyone, this room is the best in our inn. Are you satisfied with it? Leng Ruoxue pushed open the door and walked in. She looked around at the layout of the room and said, not bad. Would you like some food? The waiter asked. No need, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. I'll take my leave then. If you need anything, just instruct me at any time. Then the waiter left. After everyone entered the room, Leng Ruoxue closed the door. Then with a thought, she moved Leng Qingtian and the others into the bracelet. Ah! This place is still the best. Old Zhao exclaimed after returning to the space. Of course, idiot. Old man curled his lips. Grandpa, what do you want to eat tonight? Leng Ruoxue asked. Sure, let's try the earth alligator meat. Leng Qingtian suggested. It had been a few days, but they had yet to have the chance to taste the meat. Okay. Lass, let's eat that ugly thing tonight. Old Zhao agreed, almost drooling. All right. Leng Ruoxue said. She hadn't eaten that thing before. Qingju. Leng Ruoxue called out softly into the void. Big sister. Qingju and the little black dog appeared in front of Leng Ruoxue at the same time. Qingju, Grandpa and the others want to eat earth alligator meat tonight. Cooperate with them, Leng Ruoxue ordered. Okay, big sister, Qingju answered. Grandpa, I'll have to trouble you with dinner. I'm going to learn mystic skills, Leng Ruoxue said slightly coquettishly. Go. Leng Qingtian nodded. Leng Ruoxue and Freak returned to the purple bamboo house. After entering the house, she took out the mystic skills and placed them in front of them. Freak, I'll let you learn the dark attribute ones first. Leng Ruoxue found a beast hide scroll with dark attribute mystic skills and handed it to Freak. Okay. Freak took the beast hide scroll, opened it, read it once, and memorized the techniques for dark attribute mystic skills. He then returned the beast hide scroll to Leng Ruoxue. You finished reading it already? Leng Ruoxue said speechlessly. So speed. It's just elementary mystic skills. It's not difficult, Freak said nonchalantly. That's true. Leng Ruoxue nodded. They were only the lowest level mystics now, so they could only learn elementary mystic skills. Schwer. You can learn later. Freak said with a face full of joy. His pitch-black and bright eyes flashed with more than 100,000 volts of electricity. Ah. What do you want to do? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be stupid while her heart was thumping non-stop. Damn Freak, seducing me again. I want to kiss, he said bluntly, not giving her a chance to pretend to be stupid. No, I'm the one going to kiss you. Leng Ruoxue said domineeringly. Then she unceremoniously lowered Freak's head and kissed him fiercely. The two of them kissed for a long time. Leng Ruoxue felt that she was about to suffocate, so she left the enchanting lips of Freak. But he wasn't satisfied. Oh, Schwer, I want more. Boo-hoo. I haven't kissed her enough. I'm suffocating, Leng Ruoxue complained, pouting her pink lips. Then I'll give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Freak smiled cunningly and took the initiative to press his lips against Leng Ruoxue's to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Outside the purple bamboo house, everyone was busy preparing dinner. But it was full of spring in the purple bamboo hut. Stop kissing. Leng Ruoxue panted heavily. She would faint if he continued kissing her. Schwer, I'm just giving you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Freak's eyes rippled with lust, letting out sparks. Hearing this, Leng Ruoxue wanted to knock her head against tofu. She regretted it so much. This phrase was just a coax ball at the time. She didn't expect Freak to use it all the time as an excuse to kiss. Boo-hoo. Schwer, I'll let you go today. Hurry up and learn your mystic skills. Freak chuckled. But the words, "I'll make up for it in the future" were clearly written in his pitch-black eyes. Then don't you dare paw me. Leng Ruoxue warned. Hee, you just reminded me. Freak's incomparably handsome face was full of a smug smile. Then he stretched out his long arm and pulled Leng Ruoxue into his arms, hugging her tightly. Damn Freak, how can I learn like this? Leng Ruoxue roared angrily. Boo-hoo. Why can't I do anything about him? Schwer, you do yours, and I'll do mine. We won't disturb each other. It'll be fine. Freak said proudly. He really admired his idea. Leng Ruoxue looked at Freak's very annoying expression and was speechless for a long time. Alas. She wanted to fight but couldn't bear to. What should I do with him? Schwer, quickly learn. We're going to eat soon, Freak urged while resting his head on Leng Ruoxue's fragrant shoulder. Alas. Leng Ruoxue sighed heavily, then resigned herself to her fate and picked up a beast hide scroll to learn. Freak watched Leng Ruoxue intently from the side. Oh, Schwer looks so cute when she's studying seriously. Time passed. Schwer, dinner is ready. Leng Qingshan's voice sounded from outside the purple bamboo house. Got it, Grandpa. Leng Ruoxue stopped studying. Leng Ruoxue turned to Freak. Freak, let's go. Okay. Freak nodded, and the two of them exited the purple bamboo house. Leng Ruoxue and Freak came to the newly built general's mansion in the space. Everyone was sitting in the garden, eating and chatting happily. This general's mansion was specially built for Leng Ruoxue and the others by their beasts. They had hidden it from them until they completed it to give them a big surprise. Chapter 323, The Four Evils of Windless City, 4. When Leng Ruoxue and her grandfather saw this general's mansion, which was identical to the one on the Ling Feng continent, they were so touched that tears welled up in their eyes and threatened to spill over. Their beasts were really too considerate. Unfortunately, her elder brother was still in seclusion and had yet to see this new home. After dinner, Leng Ruoxue and Freak returned to the purple bamboo house to continue learning mystic skills. After 2 days, Leng Ruoxue finally mastered all the mystic skills proficiently. The greatest advantage of mystic skills over spiritual skills was that they were more powerful. They were only elementary mystic skills, but they were more powerful than heavenly spiritual skills. Shuer, shall we go out for a walk? Freak suggested after seeing that Shuer had already finished learning. Okay. Leng Ruoxue knew that Freak had been staying by her side all the time for the past 2 days. Although he would occasionally take advantage of her, he was probably bored to death. Then where should we go? Freak asked excitedly. Yay! I'm going to spend some time alone with Shuer. Let's go shopping on the streets. Leng Ruoxue didn't know where to go either, but they had yet to go around the streets. Okay. Freak didn't care where they went. He just wanted to be alone with Shuer. But there were always third wheels disturbing him in the space. The two of them left the bracelet, exited the guest room, and ran into the waiter downstairs. Are you two going out? The waiter asked respectfully. Yes, we're going out for a walk, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. The waiter looked around cautiously and whispered, Dear guests, I advise you not to go out today. Ah. Why is that? Leng Ruoxue's curiosity was piqued. Because today is the day the city lord's daughter chooses her husband, the waiter said with a strange expression. What does her choosing her husband have to do with us? Leng Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Are ordinary people prohibited from going on the streets when the city lord's daughter chooses her husband? If so, they're a little too overbearing. Miss, to be honest, the daughter of the city lord of Windless City hates women who are more beautiful than her the most. She usually thinks of various ways to get rid of such women when she meets them. And she loves handsome men the most, especially stunningly beautiful men. Any man she wants can't run away from her. Almost all the good-looking men in Windless City, except for President Lan of the Mystic Association, have fallen into her hands. You two happen to fit the likes and dislikes of the city lord's daughter, so I advise you not to go out today to avoid getting into trouble, the waiter advised earnestly. She's just the daughter of a city lord. How can she be so lawless? Leng Ruoxue really couldn't understand. To her knowledge, the city lord of Windless City didn't even seem to be a mystic. What could his daughter rely on to do whatever she wanted so wantonly? There's nothing we can do. He has a strong backer, and no one dares to provoke him, the waiter said disdainfully. Do you mean the Sun family? Leng Ruoxue asked. Not only the Sun family but also the Artificer Association. The city lord's daughter is said to be a rare 100-year talented artificer. Moreover, she is the beloved disciple of the Boundless Heaven Continent's Artificer Association's vice president, the waiter explained. Artificer Association? No wonder she's so arrogant. Leng Ruoxue said disdainfully. What she hated the most were the second-generation rich children who relied on their status and power to lord over others. But it was no wonder she was so rampant with the Artificer Association backing her. After all, only the 5 major associations were comparable to the 3 great families on the Boundless Heaven continent. After hearing about the glorious deeds of the city lord's daughter, Leng Ruoxue was surprised to find that the women she had encountered on the Ling Feng continent were really nothing. Compared with the city lord's daughter, those women's behavior seemed much more childish. Yes. The citizens of Windless City privately named the city lord's daughter as one of the 4 evils of Windless City, the waiter said with a chuckle. Ah. 4 evils? Who else is there? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Flies, mosquitoes, cockroaches, and the city lord's daughter, the waiter said very smoothly. Leng Ruoxue was at a loss for words. Rats were among the 4 evils she knew, but now the rats had been replaced by the city lord's daughter. This was really... Guests! Don't leave the inn for the next few days. I'm saying this for your own good, the waiter reminded worriedly. Thank you. May I know where the city lord's daughter will be choosing her husband? Leng Ruoxue asked. Why are you asking? Don't go and watch the commotion, the waiter said worriedly. Alas. He really didn't want such a beautiful girl to perish. Hee, don't worry. We won't go. Although Leng Ruoxue wasn't afraid of trouble, she was new here after all, so she wouldn't cause trouble if possible. After all, a strong dragon couldn't suppress a local snake. Oh, that's good. The city lord's daughter will be choosing her husband on East Street. It should be under martial law now, the waiter said. Hee, thanks for the news. Leng Ruoxue took out a purple gold coin and stuffed it into the waiter's hand as a reward. Then she walked out of the inn with Freak. The waiter stood still while looking foolishly at the pair leaving as he muttered in his head, didn't I make it clear? Why do they still want to go out? Schwer, where are we going to shop? Freak asked after leaving the inn. Wherever you want, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. She came out to be with Freak. The city lord's daughter is in the east. Let's go north. Freak said after some thought. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded, and the two walked toward North Street together. North Street was in the north of Windless City and was a rather bustling street. There were shops lining both sides of the street, but there were few pedestrians on the street. Schwer, let's have a bowl of noodles. The two of them walked around for a while before Freak happened to see a noodle stall on the street, so the idea of eating noodles came to his mind. Chapter 324, The Four Evils of Windless City, 5, okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded, and the two casually found a couple of seats to sit down. Hello, what would you like to eat? The noodle seller was an old man in his 70s. When he saw customers, he walked to Leng Ruoxue and Freak. Uncle, we want the best noodles you have, Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Okay. Wait a moment. The old man turned around and left happily. A few minutes later, he brought 2 bowls of steaming noodles. Just as Leng Ruoxue and Freak picked up their chopsticks and were about to taste the noodles, a young man knocked over their table. The 2 bowls of noodles fell to the ground with a plop, directly feeding the ground. Freak grabbed the young man's collar and roared angrily, "Compensate us." I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Someone is chasing after me, the young man said apologetically and kept apologizing. Even if someone is chasing you, couldn't you have run somewhere else? Why did you have to knock into our table? Freak shouted furiously. I'm sorry. I really didn't do it on purpose. Hurry up and run. It will be too late if you don't, the young man said anxiously. He tried his best to break free from Freak's grasp, but he couldn't break free no matter what. Run? Why should we run? Is there a tiger behind us? Leng Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Isn't this man the one being chased? Why do we have to run too? It's even more terrifying than a tiger. Zhu Mutin is chasing after me. Run, the young man said anxiously. When the old man selling noodles heard the name Zhu Mutin, he was so scared that he ran away without caring about his stall. Who is Zhu Mutin? A pig with a peony on its head one? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. How can you not know who Zhu Mutin is? She's part of the famous 4 evils of Windless City, the daughter of the city lord, the young man said anxiously. He really wanted to die. How could he be unlucky as to meet these 2 ignorant brats? What was more infuriating was that these 2 people were still holding on to him tightly. Boo-hoo. Isn't she choosing a husband on East Street? Leng Ruoxue still didn't know that she and Freak had been classified as idiots by this man. I am her chosen husband, the young man roared. Ah. Congratulations, Leng Ruoxue said with a smile while looking at the man being held captive by Freak. The man was about 20 years old. He was tall and had a handsome appearance with an extraordinary temperament. He was indeed a rare handsome man, but he was far inferior to Freak. Congratulations my ass. I'll give you 2 choices. Either let me go or kill me, the young man said with a demeanor welcoming death. Why should we kill you? It's good to be the city lord's son-in-law. That's an iron rice bowl. You will have a backer in the future, Leng Ruoxue teased. Humph. Who cares? Zhu Mudan already has 18 husbands. The young man said disdainfully. 18 husbands. Amazing. Leng Ruoxue was stupefied. The young man gritted his teeth and said resolutely, "What must I do for you to let me go? State your conditions." "I'll do anything." The young man looked at Freak and continued, "Moreover, don't blame me for not reminding you. The two of you are also in danger. You are a stunningly beautiful man and a stunning beauty, so Zhu Mudan will definitely not let you go. Therefore, leaving this place earlier will be beneficial for us. Don't even think about leaving today." An extremely arrogant voice sounded in their ears. Leng Ruoxue raised her beautiful eyes and sized up the owner of the voice. "Ah. Is this one of the 4 evils of Windless City?" The woman in front of her was between 20 to 30 years old. She was tall and strong-looking, a little like an orangutan. Her skin was dark, but her figure was curvy. As for her facial features, they were quite complete, and there was everything that should be there. But her eyes, which obviously had signs of excessive overindulgence, were currently releasing a lusty glow. Her not-so-large eyes were staring intently at the young man and Freak. At this moment, Leng Ruoxue suddenly remembered what the waiter said. The city lord's daughter hated women who were more beautiful than her the most. But with this woman's appearance, it was really not easy to find someone uglier than her. Upon seeing this woman, Leng Ruoxue really wanted to ask, "Which zoo did you come out from? Why were the gates of the zoo so weak? Even gorillas run out. Who are you?" Leng Ruoxue's beautiful face was full of question marks. "I am the famous daughter of the city lord, Zhu Mudan. How can you not know me? Damn it." Zhu Mudan was instantly angered when she heard that someone didn't know her. "I'm sorry. I've only heard of the famous 4 evils of Windless City, but I don't know the city lord's daughter," Leng Ruoxue said lightly with a gentle smile. "It doesn't matter if you don't know. I'll let you know me now," Zhu Mudan said, seemingly generous. "Thank you. I know you now." 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Leng Ruoxue's forehead. "By the way, did you just say that none of us can run away today?" Leng Ruoxue asked doubtfully. "That's right," Zhu Mudan said confidently. "Then what do you want to do with us?" Leng Ruoxue was really curious. "I'm going to kill you. And then keep these 2 men as my 19th and 20th husbands," Zhu Mudan boasted shamelessly with her mouth wide open. "Oh." Leng Ruoxue deliberately dragged her voice. Her beautiful eyes looked at the young man and Freak, but she saw that the young man had the words, "I was right. It was better to run early," written on his face. "Can you manage so many husbands?" Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. "No problem. My wish is to have 3,000 in my harem. I only have a few now," Zhu Mudan said proudly. Leng Ruoxue was speechless. This woman is really extraordinary. How could she say something like that? Chapter 325, Eliminating Evil for the People, 1, So? Isn't my wish grand? Zhu Mudan said confidently. Ah. Yes, very grand. But will there be so many men willing to marry you? Leng Ruoxue asked while suppressing her smile. Of course. I'm a rare artificing genius. It's their honor to be able to marry me. They couldn't be happier, so how could they not be willing? Zhu Mudan raised her head high, so proud that her tail was about to curl up. Ah. That seems reasonable, Leng Ruoxue echoed. Humph. Woman, it's useless even if you flatter me. You're dead meat. Zhu Mudan roared with jealousy. She hated beautiful women. Ah. Leng Ruoxue was stunned. Flatter her? What kind of understanding does this lady have? When did I flatter her? This pig peony really thinks too highly of herself. Come, kill this woman and bring these two men back to the mansion, Zhu Mutin ordered her subordinates. Miss, can we play with this woman before killing her? A wretched-looking middle-aged man said lecherously. No problem. I'll reward you with this woman, Zhu Mutin said generously. Wait, you're not related to me in any way. What right do you have to decide my affairs? Leng Ruoxue asked speechlessly as several black lines rolled down her forehead. Aren't these people a little too arrogant? Aren't they afraid of kicking an iron plate? We haven't even done anything yet, but they've already distributed the ownership of me and Freak. Zhu Mutin pouted and said arrogantly, Humph. I am almighty in Windless City and can decide everything here. Not necessarily. This man has nothing to do with me. You can take him. But the other one is mine. You're not allowed to touch a single strand of his hair. Leng Ruoxue pointed at the young man and then Freak. Humph. She's actually abducting a man in broad daylight on the streets and even wants to try snatching Freak away. She really has no eyes. Schwer. Freak looked at Leng Ruoxue lovingly, his bright black eyes shining. After hearing what Leng Ruoxue said, the young man almost vomited blood in anger. Boo-hoo. What kind of person is this? They were comrades in the trenches now, so how could they be so heartless? I want these two men, and you're dead meat. Zhu Mutin roared with jealousy. Humph. How dare he flirt with another woman in front of me? I'll teach him a lesson when we get back. At this moment, she had already regarded Freak as her possession. Will you get him just because you say so? Do you really think you're an emperor? Leng Ruoxue said impatiently. I am the emperor in Windless City. Zhu Mutin boasted shamelessly. Wrong. You are one of the four evils of Windless City hated by everyone, Leng Ruoxue said indifferently with mockery. What did you say? How dare you say that our young lady is one of the four evils of Windless City? Do you really want to die? The wretched middle-aged man jumped out and scolded loudly before Zhu Mutin could say anything. Isn't it so? Don't you often curse your young lady as one of the four evils of Windless City in your head? Leng Ruoxue said lightly with a faint smile. This was what Baby told her through voice transmission just now. Nonsense. Miss, I've never scolded you. Don't listen to this woman's nonsense, the middle-aged man denied while looking at Zhu Mutin in fear. Don't worry. I won't believe this woman's instigation, Zhu Mutin comforted. Humph. I'm not stupid. That was close. The middle-aged man broke out in a cold sweat. He knew better than anyone how vicious his young lattice methods were, so he was really scared just now. Fortunately, she didn't believe this woman's words. Humph. This woman is really too despicable. She actually dared to sow discord between me and Mississippi. I must torture her later. He couldn't help fantasizing about all the things he would do to her in his head. Big sister, this man said he will torture you later, Baby continued via voice transmission. Oh, Baby, Big sister knows, Leng Ruoxue said. Incompetent, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and attack. Zhu Mutin ordered loudly. Yes, miss, the middle-aged man called incompetent quickly replied. Humph. I'm ready to attack even if miss didn't say anything. Wait. Freak, who had been silent, suddenly said. Beauty, do you have anything to say to Big Sister? Zhu Mutin said with a smile. She couldn't help appreciating him in her head. Beautiful, too beautiful. This man is more beautiful than the 18 husbands in my mansion. I have to obtain this man. Only I am worthy of such beauty. This is your chosen husband. I'll return him to you. Freak pushed the man in his hand toward Zhu Mutin. The young man didn't expect Freak's move at all, so he pounced directly at Zhu Mutin without any mental preparation. Because of the momentum, he pressed Zhu Mutin onto the ground. Ah. You're too anxious. We're in public. Freak said in surprise. In fact, there was no one on the street at this time. The few people here earlier were scared away when Zhu Mudan appeared. Hearing what Freak said, the young man fainted from anger. Zhu Mudan's immediate reaction was, "It's over. The beauty is jealous." Zhu Mudan crawled up from the ground awkwardly. She didn't even bother cleaning up the dirt on her body before immediately saying, "Beauty, don't misunderstand." "Don't worry. I won't misunderstand," Freak said with a gentle smile on his lips. "That's good." Zhu Mudan patted her chest, finally at ease. "You have nothing to do with me, so why should I be jealous because of you?" Freak said coldly as he stretched out his arm and pulled Leng Ruoxue into his arms. He had lived for so long, but he had never seen a woman who liked to flatter herself so much. In a way, this woman could be considered top grade. Chapter 326, Eliminating Evil for the People, 2, You. How dare you say that we have nothing to do with each other? How dare you? You are the man I, Zhu Mudan, have my eyes on. Let go of that woman quickly, or I will punish you according to the family law. Zhu Mudan roared, the flames of jealousy burning in her eyes. Idiot. Freak said coldly and ignored her. Incompetent. Go. Kill that woman. Zhu Mudan ordered in anger. Humph. I won't go easy this time. Yes, miss. Brothers, let's quickly teach this woman a lesson for miss, roared the middle-aged man, who had wanted to attack several times but was interrupted. Let's go vent miss anger for her, the lackeys cooperatively. They waved the long sabers in their hands, slashing at Leng Ruoxue and Freak. Just kill that woman. Don't hurt my beauty, Zhu Mudan quickly reminded. Miss, don't worry. We won't hurt your husband, the middle-aged man promised. Leng Ruoxue and Freak looked at these self-righteous people and were very puzzled. How could they be so confident? Where did this confidence come from? Freak hugged Leng Ruoxue and agilely dodged all the attacks before saying pitifully, "Shuer, I'm so scared." Don't be scared. I'll protect you well, Leng Ruoxue comforted cooperatively. How dare you? Do you think I need you to protect my man? Beauty, don't be scared. They will only kill that woman and won't hurt you. Zhu Mudan roared angrily while glaring at Leng Ruoxue. But when she looked at Freak, her expression changed rapidly. The change was so fast that it was dizzying. Your man. Didn't your man faint? Leng Ruoxue reminded kindly. They are both my men. Zhu Mudan roared. Why are you so useless? It's been so long, but you can't even kill a woman, Zhu Mudan shouted at her subordinates. Miss, it's not our fault. They're as slippery as loaches. We can't hit them, the middle-aged man said aggrievedly. Yes, Mississippi. These two people are too good at hiding, the other subordinate also complained. They kept swinging the large sabers in their hands, but they couldn't even touch Leng Ruoxue's and Freak's clothes. I'll do it. Zhu Mudan planned to do it herself. Freak, looks like Pig Peony plans to do it herself, said Leng Ruoxue, who had been teasing the lackeys. Yes. Freak nodded. At this moment, a black rod about the size of an adult's arm appeared in Zhu Mudan's hand. The two ends actually had different thicknesses, and they were full of sharp barbs. Humph. Today, I'll let you have a taste of my power. No one I want to kill has ever survived. Zhu Mudan smashed the rod at Leng Ruoxue fiercely. Freak hugged Leng Ruoxue and dodged the rod's attack. But suddenly, the spikes on the rod separated from the rod and surrounded the two of them from all directions. Are these hidden weapons? Leng Ruoxue looked at these spikes doubtfully. They were surrounding her and Freak, waiting to charge at them, and were quite similar to her feather of the fire phoenix. Ha! This is a sacred artifact my master gave him. For you to witness its power today, it's a worthy death. Zhu Peony laughed arrogantly. Oh, then let me try its power. Leng Ruoxue said calmly. Oh, this sacred artifact is quite novel. The rod and hidden weapons actually combined together. Not bad. Seems that the master of Pig Peony is also a talent in refining artifacts. Die! Zhu Mudan roared and activated the spikes. But what happened next surprised her a little because flames actually lit up around Leng Ruoxue and Freak for some reason, enveloping them. Huh? Zhu Mudan was dumbfounded. What's going on? Is she self-immolating? Ah! Beauty, my beauty. Damn it. If you want to die, die by yourself. Why are you dragging my beauty along? What are you waiting for? Hurry up and put out the fire. My beauty, Zhu Mudan roared at her subordinates. Oh. The lackeys were about to step forward to put out the fire, but they found they couldn't get close at all because the temperature of the fire was too high. They would probably be grilled before they could get close. Miss, the fire is too hot. We can't get close, a lackey said bitterly. Useless things. Zhu Mudan roared. She was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan, and blood was dripping non-stop from her heart. Boo-hoo. The beauty in my hands is flying away. At this moment, the young man who had fainted woke up. Seeing the situation in front of him, he was shocked. But he sincerely admired Leng Ruoxue and Freak from the bottom of his heart. They really had backbone. They would rather die than submit. You're awake. Great. Zhu Mudan was elated to see the unconscious man wake up. Fortunately, she still had a handsome man. At least her efforts were not in vain. After hearing what Zhu Mudan said, the young man rolled his eyes and fainted again. Ah. Seems he was scared by the fire. Zhu Mudan thought, not knowing that this was all because of her. Huh? Where are my hidden weapons? When Zhu Mudan's gaze turned to the flames, she found that all her hidden weapons had disappeared, and the two people in the flames were actually still alive and well. What's going on? How is this possible? Schwer, this mystic skill isn't bad. Freak praised in the flames. Yes. Although it's only an elementary mystic skill, it seems pretty effective. Leng Ruoxue had the same feeling. This was a new mystic skill she had learned, Blazing Mountain, a fire attribute mystic skill usable for offense and defense. She was very satisfied. Schwer, what should we do with this pig? Freak asked in disgust. Make roasted pig. It can also be considered getting rid of evil for the people, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. She didn't want to leave a disaster that wanted to kill her in this world. Moreover, this bitch actually dared to have designs on Freak. Chapter 327, Eliminating Evil for the People, 3, okay, let's do it cleanly and kill everyone here. Freak said coldly. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded and then controlled her flames to attack Pig Peony and her lackeys. In the blink of an eye, Pig Peony and her group were on fire. Ah! I'm on fire. Hurry up and put out the fire. Zhu Mudan screamed in panic. But her subordinates were only concerned about the fire on their bodies, so why would they bother about her? In an instant, the flames devoured Zhu Muda, and there weren't even any ashes left. The others didn't escape Zhu Mudan's ending either. Schwer, what about this man? Freak pointed at the fainted man. Leng Ruoxue put away the flames and said coldly, kill him. Ah! Don't kill me. I won't sell you out. The young man was so scared that his entire body was trembling. He hurriedly got up from the ground and looked at them with a flattering expression on his face. Heavens! These two people are too terrifying. They even dared to kill Zhu Mudan. Boo-hoo! Why am I so unlucky? Will they really silence me? Weren't you pretending to be dead? Leng Ruoxue said with a spurious smile. Ah! I just woke up, the young man said awkwardly. Boo-hoo! I don't have it easy. Schwer, let's kill him for the sake of safety. Only the dead won't betray us, Freak said indifferently with his arms crossed. Yes, I think so too. Leng Ruoxua nodded in agreement. No, don't kill me. I have money. I'll give you all my money. Please let me go, the young man pleaded with tears in his eyes. Do you think we're bandits who kill and rob people? Leng Ruoxua said with slight displeasure as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down her forehead. Ah. No, no. You are great heroes who rid the world of evil for the people. Really, believe me. The people of the city will be grateful to you, the young man said, full of flattery. There's no need to be grateful. It's good as long as you don't betray us, Leng Ruoxua said lightly. No, I will never betray you. Otherwise, I will die a horrible death. Just as the young man finished speaking, a contractor ray descended from the sky. Seeing how sincere you are, we won't kill you. Leng Ruoxua suppressed her laughter. Ha! He probably didn't expect his words to be taken as an oath. It's what I should do. The young man wanted to cry but had no tears. Why am I so unlucky? Boo-hoo. I only said that to express my sincerity. Who knew that the heavens would treat it as a contract? Boo-hoo. Freak, let's go back. Leng Ruoxua said to Freak after seeing that the matter was over. Okay. Freak nodded. The 2 of them turned and left, leaving the young man standing there foolishly. After a long while, the young man returned to his senses and hurriedly left this troublesome place. After returning to the inn, Leng Ruoxua and Freak met the waiter again. Welcome back, the waiter greeted them warmly. Okay, we plan to enter seclusion for a few days. Don't disturb us, Leng Ruoxua ordered. Okay. Don't worry. I won't let anyone disturb you, the waiter promised. After returning to their room, Leng Ruoxua and Freak directly entered the bracelet. Swear, will there be any trouble? Leng Qingtian immediately welcomed his granddaughter when he saw her. They had seen what happened in the space just now. Grandpa, don't worry. Those who deserve to die are already dead, Leng Ruoxua comforted. Oh, that's good. Leng Qingtian felt relieved to hear this. Lass, what happened just now was really enjoyable. Count me in if there's another chance like this in the future. Old Zao said, wanting to see the world burn. It's good enough for you to protect yourself. Yet you want to get involved. Old man glared and mocked. I just want to get involved. What's wrong? It makes me happy. Old Zao roared, unwilling to be outdone. Stop arguing, Leng Ruoxua said helplessly. Old Zao, did you see the sacred artifact in Pig Peony's hand? Leng Ruoxua asked. I saw it. Good creativity, but lousy technique and ugly appearance, Old Zao said with contempt. As a good artificer, not only did you have to have good creativity, but your refined equipment had to be beautiful in addition to being powerful. Yes. Leng Ruoxua nodded. She wasn't too satisfied with the lousy rod either. It was too crude. Lass, I have a good idea. But you have to cooperate with me, Old Zao suddenly said mysteriously. Okay. Leng Ruoxua nodded. Old Zao piqued her curiosity. Ha, lass, let's give it a try now. Old Zao said impatiently. He had thought of this idea for a long time, but he had never had the chance to try it because of his limited capabilities. Let's go. Leng Ruoxua dragged Freak and left with Old Zao. The 3 of them arrived at the artificing workshop that Old Zao had built in the space. Ha, lass, how is it? This place isn't bad, right? Old Zao said proudly after entering the artificing workshop. Leng Ruoxua's beautiful eyes sized up the workshop's environment and then nodded. Not bad. Although Old Zao's artificing workshop was not very big, it had everything. In addition to a furnace in the middle of the workshop, all the materials and items needed for artificing were actually piled in the corner. This place is so messy, Freak couldn't help saying. Ah. Don't you think it's very convenient like this? Old Zao insisted. Laziness is laziness. You're just finding excuses. Freak rolled his eyes at Old Zao speechlessly. I really think it's more convenient this way. Old Zao quibbled. Old Zao, what do you want to refine? Leng Ruoxue ignored their conversation. Chapter 328, Eliminating Evil for the People. 4. I need to use this. Old Zao held a pitch-black ore in his hand. Is this black crystal ore? Leng Ruoxue asked doubtfully. Why is this black crystal ore different from the ones I've seen before? This is a black crystal ore core I obtained by chance. It's extremely hard, and my flame can't melt it, so I need your help, Old Zao explained. Oh, then let's begin. Leng Ruoxue said. Okay. Lass, use your flame to light the furnace for me. Old Zao sat cross-legged in front of the furnace. Okay. Leng Ruoxue released a small flame at her fingertips and threw it into the furnace. But the small flame melted the furnace in the blink of an eye. Ah! My furnace! Old Zao exclaimed loudly, his heart aching. Boo-hoo! This was my best furnace. Wait, wasn't the girl's flame a divine flame? My master passed down this furnace, so it should be able to withstand divine flames. Lass, let me see your flame again, Old Zao said doubtfully. Okay. Leng Ruoxue released a small flame from her fingertips and handed it to Old Zao. Old Zao jumped up in shock. Hot, so hot. Lass, keep your flame away from me. Leng Ruoxue helplessly moved the flame away. Is this far enough? Yes. Old Zao widened his eyes and carefully observed the small flame that was only the size of a fingernail. This flame seemed to be a little different from the last time he saw it. It seemed to be hotter. The flame used to be red with purple, but the purple wasn't obvious. But now, the proportion of purple seemed to be getting larger, and it had become a little more transparent. Could the flame have evolved? After observing for a long time, Old Zao asked uncertainly, Lass. Has your flame evolved? Yes, it has already evolved twice, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. The reason her flame evolved was entirely due to her heaven-defying art. Moreover, her flame could evolve every time she cultivated to another level of the heaven-defying art. But her flame would only be in the most perfect state when she cultivated to the 5th level of heaven-defying art. If she cultivated her heaven-defying art to the 9th level, her flame would be in the most extreme state. Ah! Old Zao was speechless. He had lived for so long, and this was the first time he had heard that flames could evolve. Not only did this little monster's flame evolve, but it had actually evolved twice. This was so infuriating. I don't want to live anymore. Boo-hoo. Lass. You destroyed my furnace. Old Zao said with a long face. I didn't do it on purpose. It's because your furnace isn't sturdy, Leng Ruoxue said somewhat guiltily. Not sturdy. This furnace belonged to my master's 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 masters. It was handed down generation after generation. We used it for thousands of years, and it was always fine, but you destroyed it all at once. Boo-hoo. I don't want to live anymore. Chapter 329, Eliminating Evil for the People. 5. Schwer, guess which one he will choose. Freak, sitting not far away, asked curiously. I guess he won't choose any, Leng Ruoxue said understandingly. Why? Freak didn't believe that Old Zao wouldn't choose. After all, an artificer's furnace was as important as their life to an artificer. Because he won't be able to decide. Can't you see how conflicted he is? Leng Ruoxue said with some amusement. That's true. Freak nodded in realization. At this moment, Old Zao's voice sounded. Lass. Help me choose one. I don't know which to choose. Boo-hoo, he was dazzled. Just take any one. Any one is better than the one you had. Leng Ruoxue sighed lightly. Alright, I want this then. Old Zhao chose a beautiful one. Since you've chosen, let's continue refining artifacts. Leng Ruoxue urged. Okay, Old Zhao answered. Holding his new furnace, he left the utility room with Leng Ruoxue and Freak. The three of them returned to Old Zhao's artificing workshop without delay. Lass! Light a fire for me again. Old Zhao looked at his new furnace lovingly as though he was looking at his beloved. Okay. Leng Ruoxue released another small flame at Old Zhao's request and lit the furnace. This time, the furnace finally withstood the test and didn't melt. After the furnace was lit, Old Zhao waited patiently for it to heat up. When the temperature reached his requirements, he immediately threw the black crystal or core into the furnace. After a few minutes, it melted bit by bit. After the black crystal or core melted into a black liquid, Old Zhao threw the other materials he had prepared into the furnace one by one. Leng Ruoxue and Freak stood quietly by the side, appreciating Old Zhao's art of artificing. Meanwhile, the city lord's mansion was in a mess. In the main hall of the city lord's mansion, a beautiful middle-aged woman was crying while half-kneeling on the ground. She hugged a middle-aged man's thigh tightly and wailed, "Husband, Mutin is missing. Boo-hoo. Hurry up and send people to look for her. Stop crying. You're annoying," the ordinary-looking middle-aged man roared impatiently. He was the city lord of Windless City, Zhu Binghuan. "Husband, Mutin is your most beloved daughter and the most promising daughter of our Zhu family. She hasn't returned for so long. Aren't you worried at all?" the middle-aged woman cried. "Of course I'm worried. I've already sent people to look for her," Zhu Binghuan said with a slight headache. Alas! This daughter of his was good in every way, but she was too lustful. Whenever she saw a beautiful man, she wanted to snatch him home. She already had 18 husbands, but she still felt that it wasn't enough. He really couldn't do anything about this. The only thing he could do was to try his best to satisfy his daughter's lust. After all, Mutin was the Zhu family's greatest hope. But she couldn't help guessing in her heart why the people from the city lord's mansion were here. Could they already know that I killed Zhu Mutin? Impossible. There was no one on the street at the time, and even the owners closed their shops in fright after seeing Zhu Mutin. And the only witness accidentally swore an oath. Chapter 330, Eliminating Evil for the People, 6, Freak. Qing Zhu said people from the city lord's mansion are outside. "I'm going out to take a look," Leng Ruoxue whispered. "I'll go out with you," Freak said. He was worried about Shuer going out alone. "No need. Stay here. I'll be back after taking a look." Leng Ruoxue flashed out of the bracelet. As soon as Leng Ruoxue exited the Heaven and Earth bracelet and entered the guest room, she heard an argument outside the door. Outside the room, the waiter stopped the steward from the city lord's mansion who came to search. The waiter mustered his courage and explained, "I'm sorry, Steward Zhu. It's not that I don't want to let you go in, but the guests said that no one is allowed to disturb them since they are in seclusion." Seclusion? Is their seclusion more important, or my young lattice whereabouts more important? Can't you tell which is more important? Steward Zhu said loudly with his head raised arrogantly. Of course the whereabouts of the city lord's daughter is important. But to be honest, Steward Zhu, the guests in this room are not to be trifled with. If you really offend the guests, I'm afraid, even the city lord won't be able to save you, the waiter said mysteriously. Who is in the room? Where did these big shots come from? Steward Zhu was a little hesitant when he heard what the waiter said because he was sure that a lowly waiter wouldn't dare to lie to him. After all, he was the city lord's trusted aide, so he probed. How would this little one dare to ask? I'm not tired of living. But Steward Zhu, the guests in this room don't have good tempers. Therefore, I advise you not to barge in forcefully. You probably can't bear the consequences if you interrupt the guest's seclusion. Steward Zhu, these are my heartfelt words. I'm doing this for your own good, the waiter said with a sincere expression. But the city lord will blame me if I don't go into search. Steward Zhu hesitated. Should he enter or not? What if the people in the room were really people he couldn't afford to offend? Then he would be the unlucky one. The city lord wouldn't offend these big shots to protect him. Steward Zhu, how would the city lord know if you don't tell him? The waiter whispered. But I brought my subordinates with me, Steward Zhu said with a troubled expression. What he implied was that he was afraid that someone would betray him. Steward Zhu, besides the city lord, you have the most authority in the city lord's mansion. They definitely won't dare to betray you, the waiter said flatteringly. That's true, but I can't let my brothers return empty-handed. Steward Zhu's face was full of difficulties. Hee, that makes sense, the waiter said with a smile. Then he secretly stuffed a purple gold coin into Steward Zhu's hands, but he couldn't help cursing in his heart, vampire. Steward Zhu looked at the purple gold coin in his hand. Ah. It's a little too little, but it's still something. In that case, we won't disturb their cultivation for now. Well, confirm with them again when they come out of seclusion, Steward Zhu said in a seemingly reasonable manner. After speaking, he led his subordinates and left the second floor of the inn in a grandiose manner. Pfft! A group of vampires. The waiter standing there couldn't help cursing after Steward Zhu and his group left. You, come in for a bit, Leng Ruoxue said from the room. Yes. The waiter knocked on the door politely and entered. Miss, how may I help you? The waiter asked respectfully after entering the room. Were those people from the city lord's mansion? Leng Ruoxue asked even though she already knew. Yes, the leader is Steward Zhu from the city lord's mansion, the waiter explained. What are they doing here? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be confused. They said they came here to look for the city lord's daughter. I heard that the city lord's daughter chased after a man, the waiter said honestly. This city lord's daughter is quite open-minded, Leng Ruoxue said mockingly. This continent was also a world where the strong were respected, but there were still many restrictions on women. So Zhu Mutin's behavior was absolutely shocking. Yes. She often does things that infuriate both humans and gods just because she's an artificer, the waiter said disdainfully. Thank you for what you did just now. We really don't like being disturbed. Leng Ruoxue said very politely and handed the waiter a tip of 10 purple coins. This is too much. I can't take it, the waiter said quickly, flattered. He had never encountered such a generous guest. You deserve it, Leng Ruoxue said. She was very satisfied with the waiter's performance just now. Thank you for your reward, Mississippi. The waiter accepted the purple gold coins and left the room. Leng Ruoxue returned to the bracelet and saw Freak pouting and staring at her. What's the matter? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be stupid. Don't pretend to be stupid. You actually left me alone and went out by yourself. Boo-hoo, Freak said aggrievedly as his black eyes welled up with tears. The expression on his face was like that of an abandoned puppy, cute and pitiful. Didn't I only go out for a bit before coming back? Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Humph. Freak snorted and ignored her, but his face clearly said, what do you think you should do? Compensate me. Alas. Leng Ruoxue sighed. Then she simply hugged Freak's neck, pulled his head down, and kissed him fiercely on the lips. That's it? Freak said, very displeased. What else? Leng Ruoxue frowned slightly. It is too short, lacking in quality. Freak pouted with dissatisfaction. It's not convenient here, Leng Ruoxue said uncomfortably. Damn Freak, shouldn't you take a look at where we are? This is Old Zao's artificing workshop. Old Zao is busy and has no time to care about us, Freak said, his face full of expectation. That won't do either. I'll owe you first. Leng Ruoxue said, leaving no room for negotiation. You can owe me, but I am going to charge interest. Freak smiled very proudly. Old Zao, let's go out since you're finished refining. Leng Ruoxue said. Alright, let's go. Hee, I want to show off in front of those old fellows, Old Zao said smugly. TCH, what's there to show off about? Freak said full of contempt. You don't understand. Old Zao said happily. After exiting Old Zao's artificing workshop, Leng Ruoxue and Freak returned to the purple bamboo house, while Old Zao went to Ling Qingtian and the others to show off his latest achievement. Swear, there is no third will now. Freak immediately pulled Leng Ruoxue into his arms as soon as they entered the purple bamboo house. His goal was obvious. There's people outside. Leng Ruoxue said deliberately. Boo-hoo. Swear, how can you play dirty? They won't barge in, Freak pouted with dissatisfaction. But Ball will barge in. Leng Ruoxue said with a cunning smile. I'll lock the door and won't let him in, Freak said through gritted teeth. This wasn't the first time that nasty little thing had messed with his plans. Ha! Looking at the depressed Freak, Leng Ruoxue was in a good mood. She directly pushed this unbelievably beautiful man onto the bed and threw herself onto him. Why am I becoming more and more of a pervert? I keep wanting to push Freak down. I have to change this habit. Swear, come on. I'll let you do whatever you want, Freak said expectantly as he lay on the bed without resistance. You can't be like this. You have to resist no matter what. That way, I will have a sense of accomplishment so that I can use force. Leng Ruoxue said with some dissatisfaction. Hee, I want to bully him properly while looking at his cute appearance. Boo-hoo. I've actually learned bad things. But I can't wait to be bullied by you. Why should I resist? Freak said aggrievedly, tears flashing in his bright black eyes. But, swear, hurry up. Freak urged impatiently. Freak, be more reserved. Leng Ruoxue suggested. I don't want to be more reserved. Freak refused and directly brought his lips to Leng Ruoxue's lips. Alas. Swear hasn't moved for a long time, so I can only rely on myself. As the saying went, only by doing it himself could he have ample food and clothing. After a long time. Freak, stop. I can't breathe, Leng Ruoxue quickly said after a long kiss. That's good. I'll give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Freak smiled seductively and kissed Leng Ruoxue's tender pink lips again. Hey, is big sister giving big brother mouth-to-mouth resuscitation again? A simple and curious voice sounded in their ears just as they were kissing. Embarrassed, Leng Ruoxue sat up from Freak in a somewhat disheveled manner. She looked at the fluffy little thing in front of her and smiled helplessly. Alas. I was right. Ball barged in again. Chapter 332, A Tour of the Prison, 2, Yes, Big Brother often feels unwell. Leng Ruoxue braced herself. In that case, Ball will help too. Ball's fluffy little face was full of worry. No need. I'm fine now. Freak hurriedly sat up on the bed in fright. Ball. What are you doing here? What's the matter? Leng Ruoxue held back her smile and hugged the cute little ball. Big sister, when can Ball advance? Ball sighed with a sad face. Boo-hoo. Everyone has advanced, but I still haven't changed much. Ball, how will you be able to advance? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Ball was like baby, different from other beasts, so she didn't know what to do to help their advancement. I need to look for treasures. Moreover, the higher the quality of the treasures I find, the faster my advancement will be, Ball said with slight distress. Ball, don't be anxious. Wait until big sister is stronger, and then we can go out to train. You can find many good treasures then, Len Ruoxue comforted. Okay, big sister. When are we leaving this place? Bal Bal asked curiously. We'll leave after Grandpa and the others finish cultivating their elementary mystic skills, Len Ruoxue explained. Well, it would probably take a few more days for her grandfather and the others to finish cultivating all the mystic skills. Hee, big sister, I'm going out. Continue giving big brother mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Bal Bal said very thoughtfully after chatting for a while. He then flapped his little wings and left the purple bamboo house. This little thing is pretty sensible, Freak said with satisfaction. Freak, isn't it time to eat? Len Ruoxue asked. Schwer, I still need mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I want eat first, Freak said coquettishly. But I'm hungry. Len Ruoxue rubbed her stomach. Eat me. I'm very delicious, Freak recommended himself. Eating you won't fill my stomach. Len Ruoxue glanced at Freak and then stood up, preparing to leave the purple bamboo house to find something to eat. Schwer, wait for me. I'll go with you. Freak hurriedly followed and grabbed Len Ruoxue's hand. The two left the purple bamboo house. Grandpa, what do you want to eat later? Len Ruoxue and Freak found Ling Qingtian and the others. Schwer, you came at the right time. We were just discussing that we want to head out to eat. Ling Qingtian said when he saw his granddaughter. What are we going out to eat? Len Ruoxue asked curiously. Why are Grandpa and the others suddenly interested in the food outside? We just want to go out and look for something we haven't eaten before. Ling Qingtian explained. Oh. Len Ruoxue understood after hearing what her grandfather said. These old men were bored and wanted to go out for a walk. Then let's go out together. Len Ruoxue continued. Okay. Ling Qingtian smiled happily. After tidying up simply, Len Ruoxue and the others left the room. Miss, you have to be careful when you go out. The city lord's daughter hasn't been found yet. I heard that the city lord has already cordoned off most of Windless City. They met the waiter again when they walked to the inn's lobby. Thank you. Well, be careful, Len Ruoxue said. After exiting the inn, Len Ruoxue and the others arrived at a neighboring street from the inn. Grandpa, I heard that the Jade Bamboo Pavilion is the best restaurant in Windless City. Why don't we take a look there? Len Ruoxue suggested. Okay. Everyone nodded and then walked into the Jade Bamboo Pavilion on the street. Len Ruoxue and the others walked into the restaurant and specially found a window seat. A waiter hurriedly came forward and greeted them warmly as soon as they sat down. Hello, is this your first time at our Jade Bamboo Pavilion? What would you like to eat? Serve us your signature dishes. Len Ruoxue said after some thought. Okay. Please wait a moment. The waiter turned and left. A bit later, the waiter returned to their table with a few plates of steaming food. Everyone, these are the best signature dishes of our restaurant. Please enjoy, the waiter said very respectfully and then left. Grandpa, quickly try it. Len Ruoxue urged. This should be the first meal they had outside since coming to the boundless heaven continent. They look pretty good, Ling Qingtian said while looking at the dishes on the table. Well, no, after we try, Len Ruoxue said. To be honest, she wasn't very interested in the food outside now. But in order not to dampen the spirits of her grandfather and the others, she was the first to raise her chopsticks, pick up a piece of grilled meat, and put it in her mouth. It tastes good, but the quality of the raw ingredients isn't very good, old man evaluated after eating a mouthful of food. TCH, isn't it obvious? Do we need you to tell us? Old Zao said disdainfully. You damn old man, no one will think you're a mute if you don't speak, old man roared. Len Ruoxue was a little speechless as she looked at the two old men fighting like chickens and said helplessly, why are you two arguing non-stop when we're eating? That's right. Stop it at once and eat properly. Leng Qingshan's face was stern as he glared at the two old men. They immediately shut their mouths obediently. At this moment, a young woman suddenly appeared from nowhere and rushed to their table. She begged with tears all over her face, "Kind people, save me." Woo woo, but no one bothered with her. "Kind people, save me. I'm willing to do anything to repay you," the woman continued, unwilling to give up. "What's going on?" Leng Ruoxue asked the waiter nearby with some displeasure. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll get her to leave now," the waiter said quickly. "Leave this place quickly. This isn't a place you can come." With a displeased face, the waiter pulled the woman up. Chapter 333, A Tour of the Prison, 3, Please take pity on me. Save me. You can't leave me in the lurch. The woman wept, her beautiful face full of tears. Can't leave her in the lurch. Leng Ruoxue looked her up and down after hearing what the woman said. The woman was about 17 or 18 years old. She had an outstanding appearance, a good temperament, and a tall and sexy body. Her beautiful eyes were tender and shy as she stole glances at Freak, and her tender lips were as alluring as fresh rose petals. In short, this woman had a weak appearance that was enough to make any man feel pity for her. Unfortunately, she had found the wrong people. None of them in this group knew how to love and cherish beauties. Moreover, she was a beauty with ulterior motives. Take pity on you? Who will take pity on us? Old Zhao said disdainfully while rolling his eyes at the woman. TCH, how dare you show off in front of us with such poor acting skills? You can't even fool me, yet you still want to trick these smart people. Aren't you courting death? The young woman was stunned. Why is it different from what I imagined? I'm just a little girl. There are so many of you. How can you be more pitiful than me? What's wrong with me? I'm actually comparing myself to them in terms of who is more pitiful. We're pitiful because there are too many people. We're so poor that we can't support ourselves, old man said and even exaggeratedly wiped his tears. The young woman was speechless. No money. How dare you eat here without money? This is the most expensive restaurant in Windless City. Why don't you take pity on us and help us pay for our meal? Old Zhao added, very rarely not being at odds with old man. The corner of the waiter's mouth, who had been pulling the woman, twitched, and he almost fainted. Boo-hoo. Could these people really be poor? The dishes he served them were the most expensive in their restaurant. He would be in trouble if they really couldn't pay for the meal. Can you save me if I help you pay for your meal? The woman asked after some thought. Is there a need for poor people like us to save you if you can even afford to pay for such an expensive meal? It's so funny. Ha! Old Zhao laughed out loud without giving her any face. Humph. You finally revealed your true colors. I have other difficulties. Since you're short on money, I'll pay for you, and you can help me, okay? The woman's beautiful face was full of anticipation, and her eyes were brimming with affection as she stared at Freak unscrupulously. She originally wanted to pretend to be pitiful and gain sympathy, but not only did these people not have any sympathy, but they were actually poor. Alas. I'll accept it as long as my goal can be achieved. No, why should we help you? We don't know you, old Zhao refused without hesitation. I'm Zhu Farong, and my father is the city lord of Windless City, the woman introduced herself. Oh, so you're the city lord's daughter. Old Zhao said in realization. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? We encountered one daughter of the city lord the last time we went out, and we actually encountered another one this time. The waiter, who had been pulling the woman, quickly let go of her in fright when he heard that she was the city lord's daughter. His eyes rolled back, his legs gave way, and he fainted. Leng Ruoxue didn't expect the power of a city lord's daughter to be so great that someone fainted from fright. She looked at the fainted waiter and laughed hysterically in her heart. The woman, Zhu Farong, changed from her earlier pitiful appearance and said arrogantly, "Yes, you will definitely benefit if you help me." "How can ordinary people like us help you when even the daughter of a city lord can't solve it?" Old man said indifferently with his lips curled. "You can. Only you can help me," Zhu Furong said with certainty. "Oh, tell us about it," old man said curiously. "It's like this. My father arranged a marriage for me." Zhu Furong looked at Freak and stopped. "Oh, congratulations. This is a great happy event." Old man said sincerely. "My father actually wants me to marry an old man in his 80s. What kind of happy event is this?" Zhu Furong roared furiously. "80s is very young." Old man said very fairly. For cultivators, 80 years old was really not very old. "I won't marry him. I want to marry whoever I want." Zhu Furong roared, so angry that her beautiful face distorted slightly. "You have to listen to your parents and the matchmaker." Old man advised patiently. "I won't marry. If I have to marry, I have to marry someone as young and handsome as him." Zhu Furong pointed at Freak with a face full of joy. So this girl has taken a liking to our little girl's man. This won't do." Old man muttered in his head. "I really don't understand why all the daughters of the city lord's mansion are so lustful. They actually all target Brat Yi. Alas! Brat Yi is really a source of trouble. Get lost." Freak roared without even looking at the so-called city lord's daughter. "This damn fly is really annoying. How dare you treat me like this? Do you know who the greatest in Windless City is?" Zhu Furong roared back angrily. "I don't care who the greatest is. Get lost. Hurry and disappear from in front of me. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that I won't hit women," Freak threatened. You will regret it. You will come to beg me sooner or later," Zhu Furong said angrily. Then she turned around and left furiously. "Watch them closely," Zhu Furong said to the void after leaving the Jade Bamboo Pavilion. Even though no one answered in the void, there were waves of fluctuations. In the Jade Bamboo Pavilion, Leng Ruoxue and the others finished eating and immediately returned to the inn. After returning to the inn, everyone immediately entered the room and directly entered the bracelet. In the purple bamboo house, Freak said, "Shuer, someone is following us." Chapter 334, A Tour of the Prison, 4, "Yes, they're probably Zhu Furong's people," Leng Ruoxue said understandingly. She didn't take Zhu Furong seriously at all. "Shuer, there are bad people who want to hit on me. You have to protect me." Freak took the opportunity to act coquettishly. "Okay, don't worry. I will definitely protect you," Leng Ruoxue promised cooperatively. "I'm counting on you," Freak said affectionately with a smile on his lips. "Master, you can be at ease with a lass like me around." Leng Ruoxue raised Freak's chin gently with her index finger and teased him like a lecher. "Lass, I feel so safe with you around." Freak's black eyes began to glow with electricity again. "Ha, master, it's getting late. Let's sleep early," Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile after having enough fun. "Yes, lass. Your master is a little sleepy." Freak yawned. "Lass, master will warm your bed." Freak lay on the purple jade bed, full of seduction. "Master, there's no need for warmth here," Leng Ruoxue said helplessly while glancing at Freak. "Damn Freak, can you not be so alluring?" she shouted in her head. "Stop seducing me." "Boo-hoo. Then you have to let me hug you." Freak stretched out his long arm and directly pulled Leng Ruoxue into his arms, hugging her tightly. "Hurry up and sleep." Leng Ruoxue closed her eyes. "Shuer, good night," Freak said softly and planted a kiss on Leng Ruoxue's pink lips. Then he closed his eyes and went to sleep. The next morning, Leng Ruoxue and Freak had breakfast after waking up, then left the bracelet to find the waiter. In the hall of the inn, the waiter stood respectfully in front of Leng Ruoxue and Freak. "Miss, are you looking for me?" "Yes, I have something to ask you," Leng Ruoxue said. "What is it?" "I will tell you everything I know," the waiter said straightforwardly. "Okay, I want to know Zhu Furong's situation," Leng Ruoxue said directly. She had discussed with her grandfather and the others just now and felt that it was better to know what she was like, so she and Freak came to ask this waiter about her situation early in the morning. Why is Miss asking about her?" the waiter asked in puzzlement. "We met her when we went out yesterday. She wanted to ask us for help, but we refused," Leng Ruoxue explained simply. "It's over. That Zhu Furong is the most vengeful. She won't let you go," the waiter said worriedly. Although the city lord didn't have a son, he had 5 daughters, and these 5 daughters were all bad. Zhu Mutin was lecherous and specialized in bullying women and men. Zhu Furong was vengeful. Anyone who offended her would have a miserable end. Zhu Lianrong was vicious and tortured people without even blinking. There were also 2 extremely arrogant and overbearing daughters, even though they were underage. "Miss, you should leave this place quickly." Chapter 335, A Tour of the Prison, 5. The waiter blocked in front of Zhu Kai and the others and said loudly, "Second Miss Zhu, you can't just enter our guest's room." Zhu Furong kicked the waiter away and roared, "How dare you? We're looking for evidence. Get lost." "Miss," the waiter was a little worried. He looked at Leng Ruoxue and Freak, and his heart was burning with anxiety. "Oh no, if they go to the 2nd floor, then this lady won't be able to clear her name even if she jumps into the Yellow River." But Leng Ruoxue and Freak were sitting at a table calmly, drinking tea and eating snacks, not at all worried. Not long later, Zhu Kai walked down from the 2nd floor with his people. "Miss, I found your jewelry." "Humph. What else do you have to say now?" Zhu Furong said proudly. "We have nothing to say. What do you want?" "Well, do whatever you want," Leng Ruoxue said lightly. She had been bored these past few days anyway. Since this woman wanted to play, she would play with Pig Furong. "Come, take these 2 people away." "Oh right, take those old men too," Zhu Furong ordered her subordinates. "Miss, those old men are not in the room," Zhu Kai replied. "Not here? Tell me, where did your accomplices go?" Zhu Furong questioned loudly. "Those old men also deserve to die." Leng Ruoxue raised her eyebrows slightly and said calmly, "I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. We just came together temporarily for convenience sake." "Humph. They escaped quickly. Take these 2 away first," Zhu Furong ordered. But she couldn't help admiring her foresight. Fortunately, she was fast enough. Otherwise, wouldn't these 2 people have escaped too? "No need. We can walk by ourselves," Leng Ruoxue said cooperatively. "You better behave yourselves and not play any tricks," Zhu Furong warned. "Don't worry. We will be good." Leng Ruoxue nodded obediently. After leaving the inn, Leng Ruoxue and Freak were brought to a prison in Windless City by Pig Furong. "Wait. You have to lock us up together," Freak said with dissatisfaction when he saw 2 already prepared prison cells. "No, I'm afraid you will run away, so I have to keep you 2 separate," Zhu Furong said with some jealousy. Damn it. Does he like her that much? "If you don't lock us up together, don't expect me to confess. Moreover, I will let everyone know that a daughter of the city lord's mansion is bullying others," Freak threatened. "Alright, I'll lock you up together then." Zhu Furong compromised. "Damn it. If you don't admit to your crime and make everyone know about it, how can I threaten you?" Leng Ruoxue and Freak walked on their own into the prison cell happily and swaggeringly. Then they closed the cell door and ignored Pig Furong. "Schwer, this place is pretty clean. Moreover, we have a single room. It's really not bad," Freak said happily with an enchanting smile on his beautiful face. Yeah, much better than I imagined, Leng Ruoxue said. By the way, pig Furong, prepare more delicious food for us at noon and at night. There has to be meat. I'm not happy without meat, Freak ordered, basically treating Pig Furong as an attendant. Don't worry. I will definitely satisfy you too, Zhu Furong said resentfully through gritted teeth. Then she turned and left angrily. Schwer, the annoying fly is finally gone. We can have some alone time now, Freak said affectionately with a mesmerizing smile on his lips. How can anyone spend quality alone time in a cell? Leng Ruoxue said speechlessly. What other ways do we have? It's not like we don't have the conditions. So what if it's a cell? It's safe. Freak said nonchalantly. He didn't care where he was. As long as he could be with Schwer, it didn't matter even if he went up a mountain of blades or into a sea of flames. That's true. Master, then let me bully you in the cell. Leng Ruoxue raised his enchantingly beautiful chin teasingly. Lass, you have to be gentle, Freak said shyly. Hee, Schwer, I really love you to death. Don't worry. I'll be gentle. Leng Ruoxue began to stroke Freak. Oh, it feels really good, and his figure is good. It seemed that she was becoming more and more of a pervert. Schwer, is it nice to touch? Freak asked with a face full of smiles, his black eyes full of care. Yes, it feels good, Leng Ruoxue said with satisfaction. Schwer, you've touched me. You have to be responsible for me, Freak said cunningly. Yes, don't worry. I will be responsible for you, Leng Ruoxue said readily while her soft little hand continued stroking Freak. Freak pouted his sexy lips and asked expectantly, then when are you going to give me a title? Hee, you are a man. Which man wants a title from a woman? Leng Ruoxue deliberately teased him. In fact, she had thought about it long ago, but she just didn't tell him. What's wrong with being a man? I'm in a disadvantaged group. I'm counting on your protection, Freak said pitifully, tears shining in his eyes, looking like he would cry if she didn't agree. Leng Ruoxue sighed and said leisurely, but I'm also very weak now. Who will protect me? Me. Me. I'll protect you. Well, protect each other. Freak immediately declared. Humph. Of course I have to protect my woman. Leng Ruoxue snuggled in Freak's arms and said coquettishly, yes, then you have to protect me. You have to believe me. Only I can protect you in this world, Freak said confidently. Okay. Freak, wait here. I'll tell Grandpa and the others so that they won't worry, Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Don't stay in there for too long. I'll miss you, Freak said softly while looking at Leng Ruoxue with affection in his eyes. Okay. Leng Ruoxue hugged Freak's neck and kissed him lightly on the lips before entering the bracelet. Chapter 336, The Popular Prison, 1, Schwer, why did you run away so quickly? Freak looked at his empty arms and was depressed. In the bracelet. Schwer, what's happening outside? Leng Qingtian immediately asked when he saw his granddaughter enter. It's okay. It's just that Freak and I were locked up in a cell by Pig Furong, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Oh. Schwer, you have to be careful. Leng Qingtian reminded her. Lass. Bring me out to play. Old Zao said eagerly. He had already guessed that she wouldn't let that Pig Furong go, so he wanted to get involved. In fact, his main goal was to try his new equipment. No, Pig Furong will be suspicious if you go out. Leng Ruoxue rejected old Zao, who feared that the world wouldn't be in chaos. Lass. Old Zao cried with a pleading face. No means no. Stay inside obediently. I'll let you out when the time is ripe, Leng Ruoxue coaxed. That's right, old Zao. Don't add to the trouble. Lin Liang shook his head helplessly. Although there were too many old men, and they were sometimes too noisy, it was also more lively. Ah. All right then. But lass, let's make things clear first. If you kill, set fire, or do something bad, don't forget me. Old Zao reminded her very seriously. Ah. I won't forget you, Len Ruoxue said with a dark face. She couldn't help grumbling in her head. Damn old man, you make me sound like a robber. Am I that violent? I am a law-abiding good citizen. Then I'm relieved. Old Zao sighed in relief. Little girl. Don't forget me if there's something fun. Old man said with dissatisfaction. Ah. Don't worry. All of you will have a share, Len Ruoxue promised. Shuer, you have to be careful outside with Yi Chen. Leng Qingtian reminded her worriedly. Okay, I will. I'm going out first. Leng Ruoxue said, afraid that Pig Furong would come at any time. Okay, go. Leng Qingtian nodded. Leng Ruoxue turned around, exited the bracelet, and reappeared in the cell. But she appeared in Freak's arms. Hee, Shuer, you're so passionate. Freak said happily while hugging the little beauty who took the initiative to deliver herself to him unceremoniously. Yes, of course, Leng Ruoxue said cooperatively. Humph. You two are quite loving. At this moment, the voice of Pig Furong sounded from outside the cell. Pig Furong was raging with jealousy, and her eyes were shooting out flames as she glared at Leng Ruoxue and Freak. We're husband and wife. Of course we're loving. Freak smiled smugly. Let's see how much longer you can be smug. Pig Furong said furiously. Humph. Don't they say that husband and wife are birds of the same forest that will fly away separately in the face of disaster? I want to see if their relationship is really that firm. There was no man who didn't like power and status, and she could give him all these. But what could that woman give him? Therefore, she was very confident that this man she liked would definitely be defeated by her sugar-coated bullets in the end and turn to her embrace. Then wait patiently. Leng Ruoxue said lightly. She didn't take the provocation of Pig Furong seriously at all. But it seemed that Pig Furong was more scheming than her elder sister. I'll wait, Zhu Furong said angrily. Then she turned and left. Shuer, the fly left again, Freak said happily. Yes, but it's pretty boring when she's gone, Leng Ruoxue said boredly. Hee, Shuer, she will come again, Freak said. That woman hadn't achieved her goal yet, so how could she give up? Freak, what do you think we should do? Leng Ruoxue was a little bored. Bad things could only be done late at night, but it was broad daylight now. Should we just stay in the cell like this? There are many things we can do. For example, kissing, touching, flirting, there are so many, Freak said with yearning. We're in a prison cell, so I don't want to. Why don't we sleep for a while? Leng Ruoxue suggested. By having enough sleep during the day, they would have the energy to do bad things at night. Okay. Freak knew Leng Ruoxue's thoughts and nodded in agreement. Then he took out a recliner from his ring and lay down on it with Shuer in his arms. At noon, Zhu Furong came to deliver food and saw Leng Ruoxue and Freak hugging each other while sleeping on the recliner. She was so jealous that her lungs were about to explode. Damn it. This is a cell. What are you doing? Zhu Furong roared, so angry that her beautiful face twisted in anger. Can't you see that we're sleeping? Be quiet. You're so noisy, Freak said with narrowed eyes, very displeased. You. Damn it. This isn't a place for you to sleep. Zhu Furong roared angrily. You're wrong. We've both slept outdoors before, let alone here. But this place is slightly better than the wilderness. At least there won't be bandits or anything. Moreover, it will save us the money of staying at inns, Freak said with seeming satisfaction. Humph. In that case, sleep well. I don't think you need to eat lunch anymore. Zhu Furong was so angry that she threw the meal box in her hand to the ground and left furiously. Who wants your food? I am afraid you would drug me. Freak said in a voice loud enough for Pig Furong to hear. Then a loud plop sounded. It turned out that Zhu Furong was so angry that she fell to the ground. But she quickly got up and hurriedly fled from the cell with an extremely disheveled appearance. Ha! Ha! Freak's happy laughter sounded from the cell. Leng Ruoxue opened her beautiful eyes and said with satisfaction, "You're too evil." "Shuer, are you hungry? Let's go eat." Freak sought Leng Ruoxue's opinion. Chapter 337, The Popular Prison, 2. Yes, I'm a little hungry. I wonder what delicious food Grandpa and the others have made. Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Then she sent her divine sense into the bracelet and took out a few dishes. Freak, eat quickly. They're all your favorite, Leng Ruoxue urged. Shuer, feed me, okay? Freak requested while blinking his black and shiny eyes. Okay. Leng Ruoxue picked up a piece of fresh fish meat with her chopsticks and sent it into Freak's waiting mouth. So fragrant, Freak said with satisfaction. The fish in space tasted really good. The fish melted in his mouth, fragrant and delicious. Moreover, Shuer was the one feeding him. Ah! So blissful. Shuer, I'll feed you too, Freak said. Just like this, the two of them took turns feeding each other one bite after another. The warm and sweet atmosphere lingered in the prison that didn't quite match it. After lunch, the two of them lay on the recliner in each other's arms and chatted. When they were sleepy, they fell asleep, and the afternoon quickly passed. At night. Seems like you guys are pretty relaxed. The discordant voice sounded in the cell again. It's okay, but Miss Pig seems more relaxed. You're running to the prison countless times in a day, Leng Ruoxue said lazily without even looking up. You. Humph. I'm not here for you. Zhu Furong suppressed her anger. Not me. Then who? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be confused. I'm here to find him. I have something to tell him. Zhu Furong pointed at Freak. Damn it. I still don't know this man's name. I'm sorry, Miss Pig. I'm not familiar with you. There's nothing to talk to you about, Freak refused without giving her face. You. Did you forbid him from paying attention to me? Zhu Furong roared at Leng Ruoxue furiously, her heart almost on fire from jealousy. Miss Pig, who do you think you are? Does ignoring you make a difference to us? Leng Ruoxue looked at Pig Furong mockingly as if she was looking at an idiot. You wait. I will make you regret it, Zhu Furong said fiercely and then left angrily. Freak, do you think Pig Furong came to the cell just to let us make her angry? Leng Ruoxue really couldn't understand. Every time Pig Furong came to the prison, she would be driven away by anger. But she would actually come again not long later. What did she want? If she wanted to threaten Freak, then hurry up. She was getting a little impatient from waiting. Probably. Those city lord daughters and the like have many eccentricities. Freak said nonchalantly. Ha, maybe Pig Furong just wants to see you. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Hee, it's possible. I don't want to see her. She's so disgusting. Freak said disdainfully. Alas. How sad would Pig Furong be if she heard the person she likes say that? Leng Ruoxue teased. Shuer, don't mention that disgusting woman. When should we take action? Freak asked curiously. Of course we have to wait for them to fall asleep. When doing bad things, the moon must be up, and it must be dark. Leng Ruoxue said with a cunning smile. Hee, I will definitely give the city lord's mansion an unforgettable night. Yes, that makes sense. Let's sleep for a while first. After we wake up, we'll find trouble with them, Freak suggested. Okay. Leng Ruoxua nodded, continued to nest in Freak's arms, and closed her eyes. Late at night. A masked man in black sneaked into the prison. How can you still sleep at a time like this? The man in black roared angrily as he looked at the two people sleeping in each other's arms on the recliner. Leng Ruoxua and Freak slowly opened their eyes, looked at each other, and then said at the same time, "What should we do then?" "Of course you have to think of a way to escape," the man in black said matter-of-factly. "Escape? Where to? We're just a disadvantaged group. We can't afford to offend big shots," Leng Ruoxua said pitifully with a long face. "Didn't I come here to save you? Come with me quickly." The man in black slashed open the cell door. "Who are you? Do we know you?" Leng Ruoxua asked in confusion. "Of course we don't know each other. I just can't stand how the people from the city lord's mansion do whatever they want. This is why I came to save you," the man in black said anxiously. "Oh, since we don't know each other, we can't implicate you, so we can't leave this place," Leng Ruoxua said very seriously. "It's okay. It's everyone's duty to help if they see injustice on the road, so you don't have to be polite with me. Come with me quickly," the man in black advised earnestly, his throat almost dry from persuading. "Is that so? Then let us consider it," Leng Ruoxua said perfunctorily, but she was sneering in her heart. "Humph. Want us to escape from prison? We refuse to run. I want to see what other tricks that pig Furong can think of. Stop thinking about it. Come with me quickly. Otherwise, if we're discovered later, none of us will be able to leave," the man in black urged. He looked at Leng Ruoxua and Freak's calm and composed appearance, and his heart was burning with anxiety as he cursed in his head. Why are these two so difficult to deal with? Are they normal people? Normal people would leave without even thinking if they saw someone coming to save them. But these two people. It's okay. We're detained here anyway. Please go ahead if you have something urgent, Leng Ruoxua said understandingly. Yes, that's right. We don't dare to delay your business, Freak echoed. But he was laughing on the inside. I came specially to save you. Are you willing to let me make a wasted trip? The man in black said without giving up. He couldn't return without any achievements. Otherwise, he would have no way of explaining when he returned. Mr. Hero, we didn't seem to have said anything about wanting you to save us. You can't push the blame onto us, Leng Ruoxua said aggrievedly with tears in her beautiful eyes. Chapter 338, The Popular Prison, 3, Shuer, Don't Cry. Look at what you've done. You scared my woman to tears. Freak coaxed Leng Ruoxua gently and then roared fiercely at the man in black. His face changed so quickly that it was dizzying. The man in black was speechless and cursed in his head. Fuck, how can you treat your savior like this? Dear, I'm so scared. This uncle is too fierce. Leng Ruoxua appeared so scared that she kept burrowing into Freak's arms, her face full of fear. Don't be afraid. I will protect you. Freak hugged Leng Ruoxua tightly and comforted her. I'm not an uncle. The man in black couldn't take it anymore. Damn it, what kind of gaze is that? Am I that old? Then you are an old man. Leng Ruoxua probed cautiously. I'm not an old man either, the man in black roared furiously. He was so angry that he had long forgotten that he was masked. Oh, so he's an oid fart who won't die, Leng Ruoxua said in realization. The man in black felt that he would definitely vomit blood from anger by these two if he stayed in the prison any longer. Come with me quickly, the man in black ordered angrily. Leng Ruoxua and Freak looked at each other and said in unison, No. Are you really not willing to leave with me? The man in black lost his patience. He really couldn't deal with these two people. Yes, we won't leave. Wasn't this place good? Someone would occasionally come to disturb them and let them play around. Don't regret it, the man in black roared angrily. He was about to turn and leave when Leng Ruoxua stopped him. Old fart, wait. Leng Ruoxua smiled and stopped the man in black who was about to leave. The man in black turned around and said with slight surprise, "What? Have you changed your mind?" "No, old fart. You have to fix this cell door before you leave. Otherwise, we will be misunderstood as wanting to escape," Leng Ruoxua said very seriously. Well done," the man in black said after thinking for a long time. "You can only leave after the door is repaired." Leng Ruoxua reminded the angry man in black again. "Okay, wait." The man in black held back his anger, took out tools from his ring, and resigned himself to fixing the prison door. Boo-hoo. Why is my life so tough? These two people aren't normal at all. Old fart, you have a lot of tools, and your technique for repairing the door is very professional. Do you specialize in this field? Leng Ruoxua praised while lying on the recliner with Freak, her head on her arm, her beautiful eyes staring at the man in black repairing the door. "I'm not in this line of work." The man in black gritted his teeth and wanted to cry but had no tears. "Boo-hoo. I'm so unlucky. If not for Miss Orders, I really want to kill these two people. But, your technique is too professional. I think you will have a better future in this line of work," Leng Ruoxua suggested. The words "I'm doing this for your own good" were written all over her beautiful face. "Thank you for your reminder. I'll consider it." The man in black wiped the cold sweat off his head. "Boo-hoo. I really want to kill someone to vent my anger now." "Schwer, you're wrong. I think he's quite suitable to watch the prison," Freak concluded after watching for a long time. "Dear, this doesn't conflict. Isn't it complimentary to watch the prison and repair the cell doors at the same time? It saves me from being bored," Leng Ruoxua suggested. "Hee, my Schwer is still smart and thoughtful. I think he's good at fixing locks. He can also help others fix locks and add a key or something along the way." Freak and Leng Ruoxua spoke as if no one was around. Soon, they helped the man in black decide his future career. "You. Both of you, shut up. Don't affect my work," the man in black roared angrily. He didn't realize that he had already been led into a trap by Leng Ruoxua and Freak. "Ha, I knew it. The old fart will definitely like this job." Leng Ruoxua smiled happily. "Of course, this is collective wisdom," Freak said cooperatively. In fact, he had been laughing in his head. Hee, playing dumb and infuriating others to death feels really good. However, this man in black seemed to have strong mental fortitude. They had said so much for so long, but they still couldn't make this man in black vomit blood. Alas! There was really no sense of accomplishment. It seemed like they still needed to enhance their ability to anger others. "The door and lock are fixed. I'm leaving." Then the man in black hurriedly ran away, as if he was afraid that the tiger behind would catch up if he ran too slowly. "Don't you know how to lock the door? You're so irresponsible," Leng Ruoxua complained very unhappily as she looked at the open cell door. "Schwer, give him another chance. Let's not stoop to his level," Freak comforted. "Okay, I'll listen to you," Leng Ruoxua answered obediently. Then she leaned into Freak's arms. "Seems like I was worried for nothing. You guys are quite carefree." A slightly teasing voice sounded in their ears. Leng Ruoxua looked up and saw the incomparably handsome Lan Ming in a white robe standing outside the cell, looking at the two of them with a smile. "What are you doing here?" Leng Ruoxua asked in puzzlement. "Would you believe me if I said I'm here to save you?" Lan Ming asked with a smile. "No," Leng Ruoxua said honestly. "Why?" Lan Ming asked curiously. "Because you are too unprofessional. You are dressed in white. Do you want to save people or harm people?" Leng Ruoxua said very directly. "I like being different. I am me. Why should I be like others? Everyone wears black, but I insist on wearing white. Lan Ming said willfully. Goodbye, I won't see you out. Leng Ruoxua nodded indifferently. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.